High school football fans, welcome back to Friday night, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
Good afternoon. My name is Jay Jones. I'm the Commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we're excited that you joined us for today's webcast. We're thrilled to have this relationship with IndianaSRN, and we're excited to show you the game of the week each week, showcasing some of the best small college football around the Midwest. We hope that you'll continue to watch and let us know what else you might want to see. You can go to www.heartlandconf.org to see stats, game recaps, and other information around the league. Until then, enjoy today's webcast.
Week 2's edition of the Heartland Game of the Week brings us to Manchester University in northern Manchester, Indiana, as the Spartans on homecoming week hosting the Yellow Jackets of Defiance. And it's all coming to you live right here on IndianaSRN and HCAC.TV. Today's broadcast is being brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures, one story at a time. By Bertner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving central Indiana. Piper Logistics, 3 services, 1 solution. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Jarrett Lewis, as we are at Spartan Stadium, home of the Manchester Spartans, coming off a very impressive win last week at Franklin. A last-second field goal by Andrew Kibler from 49 yards, a career long for the junior kicker, able to put the Spartans on top of the Grizzlies, opening up conference play last week, and now homecoming week this week for Manchester and the community. Have to feel good, a chance to go 2-0 in the conference.
Huge win last week for Manchester, Jarrett. They didn't do a whole lot offensively, but they did enough to win, and that's what's important. They want to build on that this week. Both teams struggled pre-conference. Manchester came out on the positive side last week. Want to build on that. Defiance has got to get things rolling, giving up a lot of points per game, but they lead the league in time of possession, so let's see what can happen today.
And it just took 9 first downs for Manchester last week to get the job done. They gave up 20 first downs to Franklin, only 170 total yards of offense for the Spartans, but they still found a way to get it done and come out on top.
And that's the beautiful thing about this game is things like that, you look at the stat sheet and it doesn't add up. All that matters is that score on the scoreboard at the end. They got the 49-yard field goal by Kibler, special teams player of the week in the conference. Also, Jalen Masden, the linebacker, defensive player of the week in the conference as well. So Coach Nate loved the fact that he got the win, and now he's got the support of all the alumni here for homecoming.
Coach Jensen in his 6th year patrolling the Spartans, a 17-34 record. They are 1-3 on the season, but do have that 1-0 mark in conference play. You mentioned Masden, a semifinalist for the 2021 William V. Campbell Trophy, has a 3.6 average GPA, the only representative from the HCAC, as they took 176 semifinalists up for this trophy. Quite the award that Masden is up for. He comes from Evansville, Indiana. So one of the Indiana boys that we'll get to see in action on that Spartan defense here in just a couple of moments.
Yeah, senior 5'11", 215, went to Evansville Harrison. He's got 37 total tackles this year, a couple of sacks, 6 tackles for losses, even even a pass defended. He is everywhere on the field for them. He needs to be today, and they've done a great job, holding Franklin to only 298 yards. Against Olivet only got 248 yards, so they're getting things in gear with their second-year defensive coordinator, Khalil Hill.
And another couple of members that we'll see from that Manchester offense. They'll go with the freshman at quarterback, Tyler Zimmerman, and we'll see two fairly new quarterbacks in action here tonight on both sides. They'll go with Zimmerman as the freshman on the other side for Defiance. We'll get another look at Jordan Ambrose, who's coming off a bad game last week in their loss against Rose-Hulman, 63-14. But one of those guys he's going to be throwing the ball to is Joseph Powell. The senior receiver has had a tremendous season, well up in the rankings for HCAC receivers.
And only his second year playing football. He was the HCAC 2021 Men's Outdoor Field MVP in track. So he has acclimated himself well to the gridiron and is the go-to receiver for Tyler Zimmerman and the Spartans.
Averaging 17.6 yards a catch, has the one touchdown score. Also, Harrington Greer will be very much involved in the pass game. He leads the team in receptions with 22. He has 186 yards receiving and 2 scores. Now on the other side for Defiance, 0-4 on the season, 0-1 in conference record after the loss to the Fighting Engineers from last week. It's a game to kind of forget, and most of the season has been so far, but now an opportunity on the road to try to sneak one away and spoil this homecoming for the Spartans of Manchester.
Yeah, they really have to take solace in the fact that they lead the league in time of possession. I think this is a game more than any that, looking at what happened with Manchester offensively last week, even though they got the W against Franklin, if they can control the clock, that goes in their favor for Defiance. It's important for them to get the running game going, especially behind their big hoss, Tyshawn Freeman.
Yellow Jackets trailed 42-0 at halftime, were able to muster 14 points in that fourth quarter, gave up over 500 yards of total offense and just 180 to talk about for their own offense. A couple of players that we'll see on that offense includes a senior receiver, Ahmad Shahid. Has been a bright spot for this offense for Defiance, and we'll get a look at some of his numbers here. 13 receptions and over 200 yards receiving.
15.7 yards per catch for Amin Shahid, has a long of 75, has had a great career. He's also played 17 games defensively in his career, has some tackles from South Bend Riley, and he's a transfer from Muskingum University.
And on that defense, which gives up 47 points to their opponents, does the Yellow Jackets. It'll be Thomas Coltrane, a junior linebacker from Leslie, Michigan, being one of the stars on that defense at the inside linebacker position. And again, a graphic here showing the numbers that Coltrane has been able to put up for the Yellow Jacket D.
30 solo tackles this year. That's unbelievable. 6 tackles for loss. Again, even has a pass defended and a sack from Leslie High School in Leslie, Michigan. Number 2 will be calling his name quite often today.
And now you see the Spartans have come out onto the field wearing their all-gold jersey combination with the black helmets, all white Stormtrooper look on the other side for the Yellow Jackets of Defiance. And we got a chance to talk to Coach Jensen before the game. Just really excited. Homecoming. He's got a lot of people coming into this game trying to check out the Spartans in their home conference opener. And after a big win last week, spoiling Franklin, a 49-yard field goal, a career long for their kicker in Andrew Kibler. He has to be excited for the crowd on hand here at Spartan Stadium.
It was electric from the time we pulled in, having trouble finding parking spots because so many people
and we got
were
here early.
And we did, yeah. And there's lots of stuff going on outside. If you checked out our Twitter, you see, we had some fun with that. But homecoming festivities are always fun no matter what campus you're on. And, it's going to be important for both squads in terms of their keys of the game to get things rolling early and get that momentum from the get-go once kickoff hits.
Manchester struggling also giving up points to their opponents. They give up 45.5 defensively while only scoring just shy of 18 points a game offensively. So these two teams very similar in that regard, but you got to think on paper, Manchester does seem to have a little bit of the edge, especially after that big win last week against Franklin.
Yes, Defiance struggles defensively, Manchester struggles offensively, so that's going to be a huge part of this game when both those squads are on the field to see what happens. It's going to be fantastic.
At Manchester University, the Heartland Game of the Week right here on IndianaSRN.
And drum major Jennifer Wagner honors America with
What's the number one misconception you think about Freemasonry?
Well, I think most people just think of Freemasonry as some kind of secret society, and you go with some of the rumors out there and so on, and they really don't understand who we are. They don't understand that we are a fraternity of brothers first, and our obligation is to take care of each other and our widows and orphans, etc. within our group. They don't understand what the fraternity part of Freemasonry really is, and that's the misconception that's out there. I think first and foremost of anyone that wants to join Freemasonry, I'd like them to know that it's really not a secret society. You may say it's a society with a secret because we have some handshakes and some passwords that you could easily find down in a library if you get the right book. Freemasonry is more, it's a brotherhood, it's a fraternity, it's a way of sharing common thoughts and everything with people of all different vocations that really understand of getting together on the level. Whether you're a judge or a police officer or a janitor, you're all on the same level when you're in a Masonic lodge room. And I think that's one of the greatest things, that you can sit with people of all vocations, but you have that certain thing in common, that you're all brothers.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium on the campus of Manchester University, IndianaSRN, and the Heartland Game of the Week. Jarrett Lewis along with Sean Kroll, moments away from kickoff. We'll see the captains from both sides head out to midfield for the coin toss. Let's talk about some of the keys of the game. Let's start off first with Defiance.
We discussed it a little bit earlier. Defiance leads the league in time of possession, 32 minutes and 32 seconds a game. They must do that today to control the clock, to keep the Manchester offense off of the field, and they need to get stops. The third down and fourth down efficiency defensively for them is near the bottom of the league. They've got to get stops and turn over and field possession, pin Manchester deep, do things like that. The little things can help them win a football game today.
And now on the other side for the Spartans, like we said, a huge victory. Coach Jensen super pleased and excited about the way they won that game last week. The last second field goal to defeat the Grizzlies. Their keys today on homecoming at Spartan Stadium.
Well, with Zimmerman as the quarterback and being as inexperienced as he is, they're going to rely on the running game. So they're going to want to kill the clock too. But defensively, they are third in the league in red zone defense and first in third down efficiency. If you keep those numbers up and get Defiance off the field, that gives your freshman quarterback a lot more comfort in terms of how they're going to run the offense. Get him a couple of quick passes early, build that confidence, and roll with it.
You can see the three players on each side. Defiance will defer, and they will kick off first, going from left to right, sending it over to the Spartans. Looking at this series, it's owned by Defiance. They lead the all-time series 31-24. The last time these two teams met was back in spring football. Defiance getting the victory 22-16. Another note about the Yellow Jackets, they will be without their head coach, Ernest Wilson. He will not be on the sideline this afternoon for Defiance, out with COVID. So stepping in and filling that role is their offensive coordinator, Chris Spank, for Defiance. Let's meet the third member of our broadcast booth down on the sidelines. It's the coach, Keith Myers.
Sunny skies, 75 degrees. On the turf, 107 degrees. Yes, it's very hot. The wind, 3 miles an hour, and that won't be a factor. And this is for Jerry, 2% chance of rain. So I think we're good tonight. Back up to you guys.
107, is he exaggerating a little bit?
I have no idea. I don't want to be down there. It's nice and
it was hot.
Cozy up here in the booth. Coach Jensen, only his second loss against Defiance in the spring. He's 4-2 against Defiance overall as head coach at Manchester.
So the visiting Yellow Jackets set to kick things off. Their kickoff specialist being Kason Markovich, the freshman from Bangor, Maine, and he sinks things off from the 35-yard line. The Heartland Game of the Week with the Spartans fielding it at the 20 and taking a couple hits, but bulldozing forward to the 34 is Manchester, and we'll get to see for the first time the freshman quarterback Tyler Zimmerman and the Manchester offense.
5'9" freshman from Muskegon, Michigan, Fruitport High School. 4 of 11, 25 yards, 0 career touchdowns, and his first collegiate passes came last week at Franklin.
How about being able to play that quarterback position and get that victory over the Grizzlies? 2 receivers both sides to start things off for Manchester. A couple of defenders get in the backfield, but it's a hole up the middle across midfield. And finally taken down is David Smith, who's getting the starting nod at running back for the Spartans. Gets things out to the Defiance 43-yard line. A great way to start off your homecoming match.
5'11" freshman from Indianapolis has got 7.9 yards per carry. You can tell right there, right up the gut. You want to take the will of Defiance early, and running it up the gut will do that. Punch him in the mouth.
So now Manchester, new set of downs from the 43. They go back to Smith, and again, Defiance is able to get into the backfield and able to stop them for a short gain of not even a yard, just half a yard.
Nice job there of focusing on the run and getting the tackle. Ben Aggie Mang, I'll get that right, from Grand Prairie, Texas, sophomore with the tackle.
So now 2nd down and 9. Zimmerman looks to pass for the first time. Feels the pressure, steps up in the pocket, and he's got room up the middle. Inside the hashes, another first down for Manchester, and a great first run and recognition by the freshman quarterback.
Nice job with the play fake, getting Pope up in the air for Defiance, defensive end, scooting right up the middle and gaining a good chunk of yards for first down. Nice first drive here, especially for the freshman Zimmerman going right down the field.
Great start for the home team of Manchester. Zimmerman in the gun brings Bayagam in motion from left to right. The give is to Smith. Trying to bounce things towards the outside and setting the edge nicely for Defiance.
Tried to stiff arm Elijah Fleming there, but Fleming hung on and brought him down. Short carry.
And indeed was Fleming, the sophomore from Dayton, Ohio, forcing another 2nd and 9 upcoming from Manchester.
They like to run on the side of Abiagam. He's a 6'3", 230-pound sophomore, tight end.
This time it's a pitch to Darren Lathrop coming near side, and Lathrop will be able to get inside the 25-yard line for a gain of about 3 yards.
Lathrop, senior from Lafayette, Indiana, went to McCutcheon High School, led Manchester in receiving last year. I bet he loves those jet sweeps, especially on those big boys. Come his way and try and give him a lane to run through.
Lathrop just 3 catches on the season, but showing off his speed from the slot position, and that's where he'll be this time on 3rd down and 5.
Big play right here for the Defiance defense.
Zimmerman is looking for a quick hitter, and now we'll have to tuck it and run. He'll lob it up into the end zone. Lathrop is there, but Zimmerman overshoots him. So now a 4th down upcoming, and after a great-looking offensive possession from Manchester, that was one of the keys for Defiance. Get those 3rd down stops. We'll see the kicking unit out on the field for the Spartans.
I do love the thought process there, because as soon as there was pressure on Zimmerman, he tucked the ball, and as he rolled out, he saw Lathrop go down the sideline. He changed his position, threw it just a little bit over his head. They could have had 6, but we'll see an Andrew Kibler field goal attempt here.
Kibler on the season, 2 of 3. Had a missed field goal last week, but had the game winner as well to top Franklin. This one from 41 yards out is good. Kibler opens up the scoring here at Manchester. It's the Heartland Game of the Week on Indiana SRN.
My name is Brittany. A little thing I love about the egg white grill is the toasty English muffin. It's toasted perfectly. It's just a little crispy, but not like hard crispy, but just crispy enough that when you bite into it, everything is perfect.
My name is Curtis, and I love the egg white grill because the egg itself, it's like soft and fluffy, like a pillow. I wouldn't eat my pillow, but I'd eat the Chick-fil-A breakfast egg white sandwich for sure.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Back at Spartan Stadium, Manchester University. Andrew Kibler from 41 yards out knocks it through for the Spartans. That's how the scoring opens up in the second edition of our Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN and HCAC.TV. Kibler on the kick, and it's going to go out of bounds. Defiance will have great field position to start off their first offensive drive.
You have to imagine the 49-yard field goal to win the game at Franklin last week gave Kibler a lot of confidence. Comes out, knocks down a 41-yarder as they had a 6-play, 41-yard drive. Not a bunch of time taken off the clock. Let's see what Defiance can do now here on offense.
That last drive for Manchester. 5 rushing attempts for 41 yards. And took just 3 minutes and 16 seconds off the clock. Now for the first time, Jordan Ambrose spreads things out for Defiance. It's a quick hitter. He connects with Aman Shahid, the star receiver for the Yellow Jackets, in that first play, good for 5 yards.
Nice for Amin Shahid. As you can see, the field goal here from Kibler. Strong right through the uprights. And, man, that first play, they brought Tyshawn Freeman out as an H-back. He threw a wicked block, and I'm telling you right now, if you know who Craig Hayward or Natron Means is, that is Tyshawn Freeman in the backfield for Defiance.
And whistles, early movement by Defiance. And looks like nearly half the offense was starting to move for the Yellow Jackets, so that'll push them back towards the original line of scrimmage.
I think everybody had the snap count there, but the center, that's not the way you definitely want to do it if you're Defiance after a solid first play. Again, Amin Shahid is their leading receiver. He's from Fayetteville, Georgia, but he ended up going to South Bend Riley after transferring from Muskegon University.
Now on 2nd down and 9, they'll give it up the middle to Tyshawn Freeman, their leading rusher, and it's a big body to take down. Freeman coming in 6 foot 250 from Macon, Georgia.
He is Christian Okoye. He is all those big backs you think of that just put their head down and run right through the gut. And he is a load. They got to tackle well to bring him down, that's for sure.
Freeman had 84 yards on the ground last week against Rose-Hulman. And now Freeman will move to the right side of Ambrose.
Got some big boys in that offensive line. See if they can pass protect well here.
Everybody split out wide. Ambrose over the middle has a man wide open. Connecting with his target there. That's John Edwards, senior receiver from Westerfield, Connecticut. Gets things across midfield.
Looked like it was 16 on the catch there, if I'm not mistaken. Jelani Hall, transfer from Georgia Southern, 6'1" sophomore. Boy, found a soft spot right in the middle of his defense, in the middle of the field.
So you're correct on that, Sean. 16, not 6. This is 36. Tyshawn Freeman met in the backfield as he brought things outside the right hash. No gain on the play.
You can tell Manchester's defense is keying on the big boy Freeman. Wherever he goes, they go with him. Even as they pull their guards on the run, does Defiance. Everybody from Manchester goes to bring him down. Gang tackling is where it's at today.
2nd and 10 from the 46 are the Yellow Jackets. First drive this afternoon for Defiance, and they're in enemy territory. Ambrose out in the flat, overshoots his man. Trying to get it over to Deontay Fowler, freshman receiver from Hudson, Florida.
It's a nice play call, just a little bit of an overthrow there by Ambrose Jr. from Tomball, Texas, Klein High School.
And ladies and gentlemen, he is here.
3rd down and long. Upcoming for Defiance.
Is in the house.
These are the downs you don't want to be in if you're Defiance. With the struggles you've had on offense, you want to get 3rd and short. Let's see what they dial up right here.
2 receivers split out both sides like it has been most of this drive. Ambrose,
linebacker
3-step
blitz.
drop, and throws it into coverage. He was trying to go back to Hall on the near sideline, but good defensive there from Manchester. Looks like in the area was Haley Smith.
And Jaquan Walker, number 1. They had him double covered, but great linebacker blitz there by Willis Sands from Miramar, Florida. Forced the quick throw from Ambrose.
Haley Smith, a sophomore from Indianapolis, went to Tinley High School.
There you go.
So out to punt, Matthew Bolanos, sophomore punter.
From California.
How about that?
Lake Elsinore, come all the way to the Midwest in Ohio to punt.
And Bolanos stands at the 39. Low snap, but able to bring it in. End over end punt. Will take a bounce.
Got to get out of the way.
From the 26, and they'll take a friendly roll for Defiance inside the 10. And you can see they're down at the 7-yard line. So Bolanos does his job, able to pin back the Manchester offense, who's coming back out for their second drive.
You know, only 2 rushing yards on that drive, even though it was a decent drive for Defiance. Had a lot better luck with the pass. Let's see what Manchester does. Pinned deep down here in their own territory. Those punts always make me nervous because guys got their back turned to the football. You don't know if it's going to bounce and hit you.
Manchester will bunch things up to start. 1 receiver split out each side. Back to the run game. Up the middle goes David Smith for maybe about 1 yard on the carry. They're without Jalen Love this afternoon. Love had 33 rushing yards last week against Franklin, and on the season, 29 carries for 70 yards. They are led in rushing by Christian Smith, and David Smith not too far behind those 2 players, averaging around 140 yards.
Smith had 127 versus Alma, so they know he can be a workhorse.
Still, it's David Smith, and he's got some room to work with. Across the 30, finally dragged out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Forced out by Malik Lawson of Defiance, but a flag is down, and it's down at the 23.
I think they're going to get the wide receiver for holding.
And that indeed is the call. That long run by Smith is negated, who already has 26 rushing yards on just 4 carries.
Great job on the seal on the first wave on the offensive line, but once Smith got around that corner, the defensive back came up, the wide receiver held him, tried to get that second seal, called the hold. That'll put him back again.
Manchester has come away with 4 rushing touchdowns this season. 3 of them have come from David Smith, just the freshman from North Central High School. Now 2nd down and 5, 10 yards from the holding spot. They go with a Wildcat. David Smith takes the snap, and Defiance read it well as 3 players force Smith out of bounds for a short gain of 3.
A little extra welcome. Hey, let's shove you a little bit more out of bounds there by Ben Agimang. I think I got it right that time. They're a linebacker.
And that is enough for Manchester Spartan.
And after that run, it was enough for a first down.
It's surprising. We thought it was close, but they gave it to him. You got a lot of players on both these squads from a lot of places around the United States. Texas, Florida, Michigan. It's good to see.
Again, the give is to Smith, who on his 6th carry Picks up nice yardage there. Nice hole created by the offensive line through the middle.
Brought down by number 10, Justin Caballero.
Great job there in what we call the yak, yards after contact. The guy was right there in Smith's face, broke that tackle and got a bunch more yards. You love the second down and shorts. It gives you a lot of opportunity to open up the playbook and try some things.
Now Manchester kind of has the end zone out of their backs a little bit better, and feeling the pressure is Zimmerman. He's going to go down. A flag also comes in with it. Got to think either a face mask, maybe a holding, one of those two as Zimmerman.
Yeah, they're looking at the Defiance sideline.
And looks like they're going to decline it. Holding penalty upcoming against Manchester, so now that'll push them back and get them closer to that goal line.
Rigo Villa, a senior nose guard from Fort Myers, Florida, one of the guys in there putting pressure on Zimmerman. And that's the kind of play you need defensively if you're Defiance. 3rd now and 12 puts them in a must-pass situation here.
And 11 for the Spartans.
So that penalty pushes them back. Second holding call against the Spartans. Zimmerman looking to pass. Just his second attempt off the right fingertips of his intended target, that being Sean Sims, and he had a step on that Defiance defense.
Oh, nice job. It was right up the middle. Nice little seam route going up the gut, kind of a go route. Had him open, just missed him.
Well thrown ball by Zimmerman in between, threading the needle of that secondary of Defiance.
Boy, if they connect that he might still be running.
So now the punting unit out on the field for Manchester.
Don't be surprised if we see that play later in the game with as well as it worked right there, even though they didn't complete it.
Getting the punt off quickly is Kibler, the kicker, as well as the punter. And fielded and stepping out of bounds for Manchester being Markel Jackson. A decent punt. Defiance will have great field position at midfield, right at the 47-yard line.
Nice job by Deontay Fowler letting that go out of bounds. And we talked about not just time of possession, but field position. Great job by Defiance. They pinned Manchester back, got them to punt. Now they're only 3 yards from Manchester territory here. Short field helps them.
Usual formation coming out on first down. Seeing 2 receivers both sides, almost every play for Defiance. And Tyshawn Freeman in the backfield alongside Ambrose. Second drive for the Yellow Jackets, and they'll begin with the give up the middle. And swarming the Yellow Jackets is the Spartan front line. Meeting him for the stop, James Matthews Jr.
5'11" freshman from Palatka, Florida, right there. Stopped him in his tracks.
Limiting Freeman to now -2 yards rushing after that loss of 2. Second down and 12. Defiance offense working a little quickly and breaking on the ball nicely for the deflection. Jaquan Walker, senior cornerback from Johnson, Florida, forces a 3rd down and long.
Hey, follow the Heartland Conference at HCAC DIII. That's D3 on Twitter to keep up to date with scores and everything you want to know.
3 other games going on in the Heartland Conference. You got Franklin at Mount St. Joseph, Bluffton, taking on Anderson on the road. And finally, Hanover at Rose-Hulman. 4 total games in the Heartland. Ambrose having some trouble. Just had to get away with it. And don't see a receiver in the area, but Ambrose kind of threw it at the feet of his offensive lineman, but still an incompletion and a quick 3-and-out forced by Manchester.
Great penetration off the end there from Marvin Collins, a junior from Riviera Beach, Florida. He's got 3.5 sacks on the year. Almost got him another one right there.
Back out to punt. Matthew Bolanos had a great punt to pin Manchester back deep inside the 10 to start that previous drive, and he'll look to do the same here, standing at the 30.
I think Defiance is okay playing this field possession game because they're on the positive end of it. Pin Manchester down deep again. Don't kick it in the end zone here if you're Bolanos.
Pressure comes in from Manchester, and they nearly block it, and they may have affected the punt even the slightest. Inside the 30, still a decent punt as Bolanos felt the heat.
How did they not block that? they came through, and I was expecting to call a block kick, and somehow Bolanos got it off, but a little bit shorter kick. They need to shore up that punt team coverage. You do not want a special teams turnover. That can cost you dearly in a game like this.
Defiance on defense gives up 47.5 points to their opponents. That includes 437 yards of offense. They gave up over 515 last week to Rose-Hulman. The Manchester running game really starting to work in this first quarter, as that carry for Manchester is from Dave Paul.
You see the starting lineup here. Tyler Zimmerman, the quarterback. Again, Love is not playing. David Smith started, but you see the big boys on that offensive line, and Joseph Powell, their leading receiver.
Only 2 pass attempts so far for Zimmerman, and now here's the third. Getting out to your playmaker in space, this is Powell. Powell has a first down, and getting tackled there at the 46, but not after a gain of 9 yards.
A senior from Beach Park, Illinois. I love that call right there. Again, that gets your quarterback more in the flow. A little bubble screen out to your wide receiver. Let him make plays, make an easy throw for him, get him more comfortable as he's starting his first game.
Defensive starters here for Defiance. We highlighted Thomas Coltrane, the inside linebacker, wearing number 2 on the season this year for Coltrane, leading them in tackles with 37 total. And meanwhile, penalty called on the Manchester offense. That'll back them up 5.
False start on the offense there. We've talked a lot so far about Ben Agimong. He's a sophomore from Grand Prairie, Texas. 16 tackles. He's been all over the field so far.
3 first quarter penalties for Manchester. 2 holds and now the false start.
Those things will make you pull your hair out as a coach. Now they're 1st and long.
1st and 15. Back to the ground game. David Smith back in there for Manchester, and he's going to get 4 of those 5 penalty yards back.
They like David Smith so far in terms of carries. He's already got 66 yards, 8.6 yards per carry.
2nd down and 12 for Manchester. Under 4 left to play in this first quarter. Zimmerman has a bunch set to the top. He'll fake it, and now up the field, and he overshoots his man, trying to go after Gabe Melvin. But Zimmerman's pass, he probably wants that one back.
He does, but the thing about that, yes, he's overthrown 2 receivers, but on both of those occasions, the receivers got behind the defenders, so they know one-on-one, they can beat those defenders. Keep going to that well, and if you hit it once for a big play, you love it.
Zimmerman is the 4th different quarterback that has played this season for Manchester. This is the 4th game that he's appeared in. And just 11 pass attempts so far this season. They'll go to the air again. Zimmerman thought about throwing it over the middle. Now has a man open in the flat. It's Powell, and he can't shake the defender. Nice open field tackle made there for Defiance. That was Jeremiah White, freshman defensive back from Atlanta, Georgia, able to force another punt upcoming from Kibler.
You gave Powell a chance to go one-on-one. He slipped a little, which gave White a chance to come up and make the tackle. That's all you can ask for. Couldn't quite get it done. Now you're going to try and pin Defiance down in their end of the field.
Powell has the 2 receptions coming from Zimmerman. 15 yards through the air for Manchester. Kibler on the high snap, nearly blocked by Defiance. And this punt is fielded at the 15, getting tripped up and now going backwards. A flag flies in, and making a couple of guys miss before being brought down. That appears to have been Carlins Elias. Check that. That may have been Deontay Fowler. Fowler was back to return and kind of went backwards a little bit, and this flag may pin Defiance back even more.
Yeah, I think it is going to. As he tried to come around that corner, a little hold there to try and give him some space, and that's going to pin them. That's going to be half the distance to the goal. It's going to pin him down even deeper.
Already 5 penalties total between the two squads. Illegal block in the back against Defiance as the offense comes back out onto the field. 2 punts from both sides. And this one has the Yellow Jackets beginning things at the 8-yard line.
2 of 6 so far for Ambrose.
Met in the backfield, nowhere to go for Tyshawn Freeman. That'll push Defiance back to the 5-yard line as a couple of Manchester defenders able to slip through the blocks.
Marvin Collins there again on the play, the defensive end junior from Riviera Beach, Florida. Freeman has, at this point, gained 2 yards.
The running game is usually what Defiance goes to more often than the passing game, and they may pass it here as everybody split out wide. Ambrose swings it out to Freeman out of the backfield, and the big back is met again for a short gain, just 1 yard on the pickup. There to meet him, Jeffrey Zhang, defensive lineman, a senior from Deltona, Florida.
Great job there, too, by Willis Sands of making him have to make a move and let Sang coming up and make the play. You see the Manchester defense there. We've talked about a lot of names. We haven't mentioned Masden much lately, but hey, all the help you can get from your fellas is good for that young man.
It's now a 3rd down and 11. With the field goal post in the background, Defiance has their backs against the wall. Ambrose. A blitz comes in from Manchester. Almost a safety, and Ambrose is just being pushed. What could have been a safety, Ambrose gets a huge shove out to the 10-yard line.
I thought the ball got knocked out of his hand with the rush in the end zone.
And I don't know how Ambrose was able to get 4 yards out of that carry, but he does, and that'll give a little bit more room for Bolanos to punt out of the back of the end zone.
Sang on the stop again, and now we get to see Markel Jackson, the 5'7" freshman. He has a long of 52 this year on kick returns, not much on punts, but he's got some space here.
Manchester crowds the box. Light pressure, a spiraling punt, doesn't go very far, and bounces right down the 35-yard line. So now the field position game pays off for the Spartans. They have things set up at the 35.
They've flipped it. Just that one series, getting down there closest, flip the field position. You're starting at your opponent's 35-yard line. Every offensive coordinator would take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Zimmerman back out to work so far. 2 of 5 for 15 yards through the air. It's been the Davis Smith show thus far. 7 carries and 39 yards for the freshman back. 2 receivers both sides for the Spartans. The man in motion is Powell. And they pitch it to Powell, looking to pass. Nobody there, and Powell just flings it up. A chance for a pick, and a flag comes in. Pass was intended for Harrington Greer, who's a very tall target at 6'4", and he may have got too much action from the secondary of Defiance.
We had a helmet come off too. Joe Garling, the right tackle's helmet came off. He's got to come out for a play.
Pass interference is the call against Defiance. Their 3rd penalty, the first on the defensive side, but it is going to be a costly one. Of course, the automatic first down, and now Manchester getting closer to striking distance.
When they watch the film, they're going to tell Powell, listen, you got the pass interference, that's great. Please don't throw it up like that ever again.
A little trickery to begin this drive from Manchester, and now they have things at the 20-yard line. Just 19 seconds left to play. Give us to Smith, and he brings things from back out of that cluster in the middle and is only able to come away with 1 yard, and that will be the final play of this first quarter as the clock continues to wind. Manchester is unable to get another play off, and that'll end the first quarter with the Spartans up 3-0 on homecoming. We'll go back down to the sidelines with Keith Myers.
I got Mr. Spartan. You're a pretty good game so far. How's the cheeseburgers? How's the fall season going? Pretty good? Up and down. You glad you're here? How about IndianaSRN? You glad that we're here? Good interview. Back up to you guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Keith. A man of many words is Mr. Spartan, but he has to be happy with the first quarter play of Manchester so far. 3-0 is our score, and we'll flip sides. A couple of takeaways from that first quarter. What are you seeing so far, Sean?
Well, again, we talked about time of possession and field position. That's really been the name of the game so far after that first Manchester drive where they got the field goal. Now they're in the red zone, and that's where the red zone efficiency, or to be quite honest, deficiency of Defiance comes up. 6 of 8 times their opponents have gotten the red zone, they've scored on this Defiance defense. 5 touchdowns, 1 field goal, 6 out of 8 times, and they really need to step up and bow up defensively here and hold them to a field goal again.
It'll be 2nd and 10 with the ball at the 20. Now Manchester going towards our right. 3 receivers to the left for Zimmerman. As a new 15 minutes is on the clock. The Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN Week 2 edition. They swing it out towards that left side on the reception for Manchester is Sean Sims. And he's going to pick up about 4 yards on the quick hitter.
Hasn't had a ton of catches this year, but 9.75 yards per game. He's kind of surpassed that so far. Again, nice easy pass for Zimmerman. Make it 3rd and shorter. Still got about 6 yards to go there.
And still well in Kibler's range. He was able to knock it in from 41 back in the first quarter. But if you're Manchester, want to see a 3rd down conversion this time. Zimmerman looking to throw. Looking towards his left side. A man is there to sack him for a loss. Getting to the quarterback in the backfield is Miguel Gomez, Jr., defensive tackle. 5'7", 230.
Looked like they were trying to get the ball to David Smith on a screen pass, but a great job by Coltrane covering him up and not letting him have any space to get open. And then the pass rush did their job and got to the quarterback.
First sack this evening for the Defiance defense. They run a man on late. Plenty of time still left in the play clock as Kibler back out for another field goal attempt, this time 38 yards out. From the left hash, Kibler's kick is up and through the uprights. Kibler has all 6 points for the Spartans of Manchester. Back with more second quarter action. It's the Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back at Spartan Stadium, homecoming for Manchester University, and so far 2 field goals have gone through for Andrew Kibler to make it a 6-0 lead for the Spartans.
Hey, stay up to date with sporting news from around the nation at our sports page on our website, IndianaSRN.org. Scores, upcoming schedules, and much more.
And we'll have some scores from across the conference here shortly. 3 other games going along this afternoon in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Shaheed was back on the return, and he muffed it and ended up rolling out of bounds, which has Defiance set up at the 8-yard line.
Speaking of scores, Mount St. Joseph up 14-0 on, I believe they are playing Franklin. Right now, the freshman quarterback Tyler Prather is playing again this week for them after we had them last week.
Yeah, Prather came in and played that second half against Bluffton, and he ended up being the IndianaSRN player of the game.
All right, yeah, stay tuned for that at the end of the game. We got a little special added treat, hint, hint, at the end of this game for the player of the game.
Back at the field goal, Kibler, good from 38 as well as 41. And you got to think, that kick right there may have been good from around 49 or 50. So we'll keep that in mind for Kibler's range. He was good from 49 last week to win it all against Franklin.
And here Defiance is pinned down deep again.
Hand off to Freeman, and he'll be able to give some more breathing room for that offense. 8 yards on first down.
When he runs, do you hear those noises?
It's like a bowling ball about to come into contact with some pins.
He's yes. Exactly.
And they bunch things up again. 8 guys on the line for Defiance, and Freeman will have enough for a first down.
I think Coach Shank has decided that when we're pinned down here, we're just going to give it to the big boy and let him get us a big chunk of yards and get out of this bad field position.
Coming into this contest, Freeman was over 200 yards total, averaging 52 yards per game. And he's getting a lot of the touches for the Defiance offense. Another decent pickup, first down carry of 4 for Freeman.
Willis Sands on the tackle again, the senior from Miramar, Florida. They're doing a lot better giving him holes, and he's taking advantage. And you can get 3-4 yards a chunk. You can keep running the football and moving the sticks.
Freeman 7 carries, just has the 12 total yards, a couple of negative plays early on. But is starting to find some daylight with that offensive line. This time it'll be Ambrose and Freeman as the lead blocker. Looks like 3 yards for Jordan Ambrose, the junior.
You like to have that option of running the ball with Freeman quite a few times, then keeping it and using yourself as a shifty runner to try and get more yards. 3rd down and short, this is exactly where Defiance wants to be in terms of their offense, giving them opportunities to, again, move the sticks and get down the field.
Ambrose not a dual-threat quarterback necessarily, but does have 13 rushes this season, just shy of 40 yards, rushing on 3rd down and short. The Manchester defense is going to get a stop. No gain on the carry for Freeman, and you definitely have to send the punting unit back out. You liked what you saw initially with Freeman getting out at the back of the end zone, but still, Bolanos is out for his 4th punt in this first half.
Great job by Devontae Moore, a junior from North Central High School. Just came through like a rocket through that hole and stopped the big boy Freeman dead in his tracks.
Manchester defense, opposite of what they have been used to so far this season. They give up 45 points a game to their opponents. Punter falls down, and the catch is made. Making a couple of moves, making some guys miss. He could go. There he goes across the 20, inside the 10-yard line, and finally brought down. Markel Jackson on the return for the Spartans. And a great return, able to get it across midfield. Break a couple tackles inside the 10.
Great job by the 5'7" freshman from Sarasota, Florida. If you can make that first man miss, which he did, he had some great opportunities and some great space to work with and got it all the way down inside the red zone. Now they need to stick it in the end zone. See, he's make that first man miss, gets right around the corner. Now he's like, whoop, whoop. Finds some lanes, and boy, just gets caught from behind there from the left-hand side, or he would have scored.
45-yard punt return for Jackson. And offensively, Smith gets the carry this time. A little bit of action after the whistle. 2 yards for David.
He's got almost 70 yards currently. With a lot of time to go here in this first half, he might have 100 if he can break another decent one. Right now, they just want to see that black part right there with the yellow writing in it. Put a 6 on the board with one play.
Zimmerman now looking to pass. Out in the flat, overshoots his man. His intended target that time was Darren Lathrop.
Third time, we've seen so far in this first half where Zimmerman's had an open receiver, cut him a little bit too far. Got to shore that up. Again, you really want to put it in the end zone after that big play by your special team. So this is a big play call right here, 3rd and goal.
Don't want to continue to settle for field goals if you're Coach Jensen and the Manchester offense.
It's like they say, you want money that folds, not money that jingles.
Zimmerman, one-on-one situation towards the back pylon, and he can't haul it in. That time, trying to get it to Harrington Greer, who definitely has the size advantage against the DB. But with that incompletion, brings up 4th down and another field goal attempt upcoming for Kibler.
That was actually a really good throw by Zimmerman back to the pylon, but great coverage there by Darrell Walker, a senior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Great defensive effort there. We'll have a chip shot upcoming for Kibler. 25 yards out, plenty of leg, and again puts it through the uprights. Kibler is 3 for 3, and the Spartans lead it 9-0 over the Yellow Jackets of Defiance. It's the Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Homecoming weekend for the Manchester Spartans, and right now, with 3 field goals from the junior kicker Andrew Kibler, lead things 9-0. You talking about money earlier?
So people in their wallet, they prefer money that folds in their pocket as opposed to money that jingles. Touchdowns are money that folds. Field goals is money that jingles.
Okay, it took me a second, but definitely makes sense. Here's the return. Great kickoff coverage there from Manchester. Quentin Willis on the stop, as Fowler was able to get things for Defiance out to the, see where the referee marks the ball down. It's going to be the 23-yard line. Back out onto the field, it's our sideline reporter, Keith Myers.
Guys, the interesting thing, guys, is 9 points isn't enough. And 1 possession, a touchdown by Defiance, they're right back in this. They feel confidence that they're holding them to 3 and not folding the money, so to speak, Sean.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that.
They've had some decent plays, some good looks offensively, but ultimately Manchester has forced them into 4 punts. And they begin things off with a pass out to Shaheed.
Trying to get the ball to their playmakers, but again, nice pursuit by the Manchester defense and no gain.
So far, Ambrose through the air is 4 of 7. 2 of those completions have gone to Shaheed, who is their leading receiver. 13 catches coming into this one. Going to pass again, bang play, going back to Shaheed, who is right at the sticks. And great defensive play there by Jaquan Walker on the far side.
A senior from Hawthorne, Florida, Interlochen High School. That's the 3rd pass we've seen him break on to break it up. Maybe they need to do a little hitch and go here if you're Defiance to get past him, because he's reading the quarterback really, really well.
So So a 3rd and long situation here for the Yellow Jackets. 2 pass plays on this drive, and they'll go through the air again. Overshoots his target, Ambrose. Trying to get it to Jelani Hall, and a 3-and-out again forced by the Manchester defense.
You know, I'm not we're pretty honest here. Not a fan of that possession. Throwing it that many times when, you know, you really need, you don't want to, they wasted maybe 30 seconds on the clock and get the ball right back to Manchester. Run the football. Last time they had the football, Tyshawn Freeman, even though they punted, got some good chunks of yardage. Run it and keep that time of possession high and keep Manchester off the field. Your defense is gassed now, and they got to go right back out there and stop them again.
It's Bolanos back to punt for the 5th time. They had 6 punts last week, and he muffs the punt. Defiance unable to come away with it. It's still on the ground, and now the Yellow Jackets do. The initial attempt, the Yellow Jackets were unable to come away with it, and it appeared that Manchester was going to grab it, but it is the Yellow Jackets with Carlin's Eliasis on the recovery.
Boy, Markel Jackson just missed it. He was backing up too far, had to come forward. It went through him. Then Jaquan Walker picked it up. Then he fumbled again. So now that's the kind of play Defiance needs. They're in Manchester territory at the 31-yard line. They've got to take advantage here and put some points on the scoreboard.
The first turnover of this contest could put Defiance on the scoreboard here. So they begin things at the 31 after going 3-and-out. Ambrose going for it all. And again, not on the same timing, going for Shaheed, who is playing the near side this time.
You got to at least give your receiver a chance to catch the football. That was so far out of bounds, he could have been Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and he wouldn't have been able to catch that.
And Shaheed appeared to have a step on his defender. Shaheed has 5 targets and just the 2 catches. And now 2nd down and 10. Freeman on the right side of Ambrose. Ambrose will keep it with some pulling guards as the lead block. A decent pickup, but it's going to be 3rd and 7 upcoming for the Yellow Jackets.
You use Freeman there as a lead blocker, which helped, and the running play is good there, but you got to get positive yards on 1st down. Now you're in 3rd and long again. Your passing game has not been stellar, to say the least, so you got to call up a good play here.
Ambrose 4 of 10 has passed 5 passes. 3 of them have been incompletions, and the other 2 have gone for no gain. 3 receivers towards the left. 3rd down for Defiance. Ambrose fakes the pass and will keep it again, and Manchester read it the entire way. Gain tackled was Ambrose for a loss, and now it's decision time for the Defiance offense.
Didn't give him any time at all, and Jaden Scott, 88, was open on the left-hand side, but when you don't have any time at all to throw, you can't get it out there.
Play brings up 4th down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets.
What do you do?
Going to keep the offense out there, it appears.
Big play here for both squads.
The usual kicker for the Yellow Jackets is Kason Markovich. But just a freshman, it would be a 41-yard field goal. Ambrose on 4th down, feels the pressure, a crossing out to Shaheed, and a great open field tackle made that time by Michael Bathke. Check that, that was Jalen Masden. Masden, the reigning player of the week in the Heartland Conference, comes up big again for the Manchester defense.
I think that's the first time we called his name all day, but on a huge play, he saw Shaheed coming across the middle, took him down, got the good solid tackle, and turnover on downs. Big call there for Defiance. Let's see if Manchester now can take that momentum and take it down the field.
After the first turnover of the game on the muffed punt, Defiance unable to do anything with it. And back to work is Zimmerman. He'll keep it himself on the run. Gets across the 30. but just a short pickup of 3.
Number 11, Tyler Zimmerman on the
Keeping the defense honest there with not handing it off to Smith and
He
keeping it
had
on the
2
run.
play, second down,
Have them,
8 for the
the
Spartans.
defense has to focus on Zimmerman now because they know he's going to run the football. That may be setting up a play later on down the road.
2nd down and 8. Zimmerman back to the ground game. We'll hand it off with David Smith. Takes a couple of defenders with him as a flag comes in from the head referee in the backfield. And you got to think this one is going to be coming back. Defiance seems to think so.
You cannot tackle that young man in his upper body and his shoulders. He will not go down.
Just imagine a Danny Woodhead, I reckon, from the NFL. Just a big, solid body that is just, you can't arm tackle him and you can't tackle him up high. You're going to have to go down low.
He does have some similarities, and I have a player in my mind, and for some reason I can't think of his name right now. He played for the Vikings and the Saints. I think he's with the Ravens this year.
Latavius Murray?
Yes, that is the one.
Could even throw Jonathan Taylor in there, a big body for the Colts, and this is going to be intercepted. Pass picked off, and going down the sideline with some blockers out in front of them.
Flags on the play, though. That'll come back a little bit, but a big turnover still for Defiance.
The interception will stand for Defiance, and coming away with it was Jaquay Janvier, the cornerback, a junior from Miami Gardens on the pick, which will stand, of course, but the flag coming in the backfield may push things back for Defiance.
See, the safety already starts to float over that direction, helps him out, and he's the one that comes and makes the play. Throwing in double coverage like that is trouble a lot of times, and it cost Manchester there on that play.
So back-to-back turnovers committed by Manchester. And the referees break the discussion. And during the return, it was a hold on the Defiance defense. And also a sideline warning. Throw that in there, too, against the Defiance bench.
And that's a spot foul, so I think it's 10 yards from the spot of the infraction, if I'm not mistaken. So you were thinking you were inside the red zone, and now you're going to be midfield.
The 4th penalty this afternoon committed by Defiance. And instead of being inside the 20, like you said, from the spot of the foul, they'll mark it off from the 50-yard line and stop at the 36.
Penalty brings up 1st down and 10, Defiance. At their own
So
36
what a
yard
turn
line.
of events here with the Yellow Jackets. Thought they were going to have great field position again, but instead are on their own side of the field.
Let's see what they dial up here on offense.
Ambrose start things off with Freeman, taking a lot of hits up high and finally being brought down as Freeman musters 4 yards on the carry. A tough tackle there made by Jose Castro of Manchester.
Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about yards after contact. Holy cow. That young man is what we call a full load. You got to bring your lunch pail. It's going to be all day bringing that young fella down.
6'2", 250 is Tyshawn Freeman from Westside High School in Macon, Georgia. Ambrose now looking to pass. Escapes the pocket. Going to pick up a 1st down and more. Upended on the tackle. Jamal Hubbard was there to hit him low, but still Ambrose able to get a new set of downs.
From Russellville, Alabama, great tackle there, but a great decision by Ambrose. Didn't force the pass, saw some green space there on the right side, pulled it down, ran, and got a 1st down.
Under 5 minutes left to play in this 1st half. Defiance trying to get on the scoreboard. Was looking down the sideline, and Shaheed up in the air trying to call the catch as he was off of his 2 feet. They were trying to go with the man down the sideline was Jelani Hall, but the Manchester secondary was right there.
Ambrose went to throw it, but he saw the safety come over to double cover Hall, pulled it back down, then tried to get it to Shaheen short of the sticks. Couldn't connect, but not a turnover. So that's what you're looking for here, Defiance. Great decision making there by their quarterback.
That was Castro with the coverage over the top to prevent the big play. 2nd and 10. Freeman, another carry. The longest play of the day so far for Sean Freeman as he comes away with 14 yards on 2nd down.
Showed us some nimble feet there, avoiding one of the tackles with a little tiptoe move. Very impressed by that. You'll see here he gets through, and then right here as it comes up the tackle, a little shiftiness. Oh, let me go right around. He got tripped up though. Big chunky yardage.
Castro still able to make the tackle for Manchester. Back to Freeman again. Short yardage pickup this time, as he only comes away with 1 yard to the 36-yard line.
Sam Huffman of Bremen, Indiana there on the tackle, 6'1" sophomore. 18 tackles so far in the year. Good job wrapping and bringing him down.
2nd down and 9 for Defiance. They'll have 3 receivers towards the left. 75 miles separate these two teams. Pass intercepted for Manchester. It's Jamal Hubbard, and Hubbard is going to take it to the house. Ambrose to beat. Touchdown, pick 6 for Jamal Hubbard, the sophomore from Russellville, Alabama.
Boy, they tried to get it outside the Jelani Hall. Great job breaking on the ball there by Jamal Hubbard, and he said, "Excuse me, I've got a house call."
And he takes it back. 59-yard interception return, Jamal Hubbard. We've called his name a couple of times tonight, and the first touchdown of this HCAC matchup is from the Manchester defense.
Great play there. He avoided the tackle early. Maybe started to celebrate a little too early. Didn't realize the speed. We got a little convoy going down the sideline for the touchdown.
Great blockers in front of Hubbard, and Kibler tacks on the extra point. 16-0 the lead now for the Spartans with 3:27 left to play in this first half. IndianaSRN, pleasure to be here at Manchester University and Spartan Stadium, the Heartland game of the week. Also on HCAC.TV. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Jarrett Lewis. Keith Myers down on the sideline. An interception return for Jamal Hubbard, taking it 59 yards the other way to the house. And that's the first time that we've seen 6 put up on the board by either team, and also both teams now with an interception thrown.
Yeah, the offenses are both really kind of similar so far. It's the defenses that have really stepped up, and huge play right there. Score update. Hanover and Rose-Hulman tied at 7 in the first half.
Tight game there. Some Heartland implications, of course. Hanover and Rose-Hulman, along with Manchester and Mount St. Joseph, the 4 teams that are 1-0 to start off conference play. Return here from Defiance as they get things to the 20-yard line, back to the pick 6.
See, Ambrose comes over and just right over Hall's head, and missed tackle right there. The nice stiff arm. You see, he starts to celebrate a little bit. Ambrose almost gets him, but in the end zone goes Mr. Hubbard.
We'll take a break. Manchester back out on defense when we come back. 3:22 left to play. (16-0) lead for the Spartans of Manchester. The Defiance offense back out onto the field after the timeout.
Hey, if you like what you see here, small businesses or large corporations are needed to sponsor these sporting events. Contact our team at info@IndianaSRN.org. Our sales team will be happy to share with you how affordable it is for you to air your messages on this webcast. Again, info@IndianaSRN.org.
Ambrose fakes the give and now does connect with Hall this time, picking up a first down as Hall picks up 14 yards, and that's his second catch, and they've both been for 14.
Like getting Ambrose out of the pocket there and getting the receiver over there, so it's a nice, easy throw. He's open. Get him that confidence back after that interception. It's like falling off a bike. You got to get right back up on it.
From the 35-yard line, plenty of time to work with for Defiance. Ambrose, three-step drop into the flat off the hands of his intended target that time, and they have not been able to pick up much after the catch, as it was Deontay Fowler.
That's tough. You got to give your receivers a chance to make a play there, especially when they're open like that. Just a little bit high. Maybe his engine's revving a little bit too fast. You got to slur. It's like Russell Wilson says. You want to be in neutral emotionally on the football field. You don't want to get too high. Don't want to get too low. Be in neutral.
Clock stops at 2:53. As Defiance in their usual set. Ambrose, another fake, and another throw out in the flat again. Looking to go to Fowler, but Ambrose threw it at his feet.
Pressure there forced him to, he heard footsteps, forced him to throw it early, and that's going to make for an inaccurate throw, especially when you don't have your balance of your feet underneath you, and that resulted in the short throw. So now you're 3rd and long again.
We've kind of undermined the pressure that Manchester has been able to apply. They've only given up 6 completions off of 17 attempts, so those hurries have really been affecting Ambrose in the pocket.
Yeah, I think it was James Matthews that last play, the freshman from Palatka, Florida, with the pressure on Ambrose.
Now 3rd down for Defiance. Ambrose on the hitch, connects with Shaheed, who is right at the sticks, and he's going to pick up 10.5, enough for a first down.
Nice confident throw by Ambrose there with pressure in his face. They brought the house again, but nice throw, nice catch by Shaheed, protecting the ball, using his body as kind of a shield on the defender, and they got a first down.
Ambrose had just 15 attempts before this game began, and he has reached the 15 pass attempt mark. That was pass attempt number 19, and it falls incomplete. As has Manchester. Defiance has seen 4 different quarterbacks play for them this year.
It's been a numbers game so far for sure, but when you look at the stats, I mean, 112 yards for Manchester, 99 yards for Defiance. You're looking for any kind of spark, and it was the defense that gave it to Manchester.
Ambrose, a deep drop, and he's going to be sacked into the backfield, and bringing him down again is James Matthews Jr. That's his 2nd sack.
Really quick on his feet for 5'11", 340.
James Matthews, number 59, Jabari Webb.
And Jabari Webb, too.
Those two combining for the sack, forcing 3rd and 14.
Again, uncomfortable position here. If you're Defiance, you're having to do things you don't like to do. So let's see what Manchester dials up. Looks like they're playing zone.
Ambrose looking left the entire way, and he connects with his receiver, who's across midfield. We'll see now what the offense decides to do here on 4th and 5, right at midfield. On the catch for the Yellow Jackets is Jaden Scott.
5'11" freshman from Richburg, South Carolina, only his 3rd catch of the year.
And with that, the Spartans are going to call a timeout. They're trying to score again. 1:36 on the clock, with the Spartans set to receive the punt. Out of the Manchester timeout, trying to give themselves a little bit more time for the offense to possibly score again. They lead things 16-0. It's the Heartland game of the week, the 2nd week for the Heartland Conference play. And check this out, on 4th and 5, the offense stays out there for Defiance.
Another big 4th down play here. Manchester stopped them last time.
2 backs in the backfield for the Yellow Jackets. Ambrose rolling out, feeling the pressure, steps up, his helmet comes off as the ball hits the turf. A big lick from James Matthews Jr. yet again. Also, Jeffrey Sang getting in the backfield for the sack.
I don't understand that play by Ambrose. He had Antoine Dennis Jr. out on the right side of the flat by himself. He's wide open right there. He had the guys coming up to get him, but let him make a play.
I think get it out to your playmaker and see what they can do on just 4th down and 5. But it's the 3rd sack of this ball game, and James Matthews Jr. has been in the backfield for all of them. So Defiance opts not to punt, and now Manchester is in Yellow Jacket territory. 1 timeout for Manchester as well. Zimmerman hit as he throws, coming back for it.
That's a flag.
And 2 flags come in for good measure. Pass interference is going to be the call against Elias.
Yeah, Elias definitely got there. And that's the advantage of the underthrown ball. The receiver's looking for the ball. He can see it coming. The defender can't unless he gets his head turned around. And when he does, boom, there's your penalty.
So a good play designed up for the Manchester offense, and with the penalty, they'll be at the 31-yard line.
At the Defiance 31-yard line.
Again, still plenty of time for Manchester. The playbook is wide open. Bunched up set on both sides. Now in motion is Powell. They pitch it to him, and again, Powell looking to pass, but he slips in the backfield. It's the 2nd time we've seen this play. Both times Powell has come in jet motion from the right side, and now Powell is still down out on the field.
Goodness, I don't understand that play call. It didn't work very well last time. Now Powell's down. I hope he's not hurt.
Joseph Powell, 2nd in receptions this year for Manchester. And for the moment, we'll go down to the sideline with Keith Myers.
Okay, Coach. I need a Coke, a Diet Sprite, a hamburger, a cheese. Oh, halftime, we got the basketball coach from Manchester. Coach will be with us at halftime. And a lot more stuff.
Hey, Keith, I heard you're starting a new segment here with the concession stands. Is that correct?
Buddy, I have already had ice cream, a hot dog, and a hamburger, and I tell you what, they're the bomb.
Hey, we had pretty good hot dogs last week.
We did.
We'll have to see how those match up.
I think Jerry had like 2 conies already, though.
That there's some type of contest going on, and Keith's concession stand confessional, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll see you guys at halftime.
He'll do a rankings for us as we make our trips around the Heartland Conference and see.
You hope that's not a non-contact injury. His pal slipped and fell, but needing help off the field, and T's and P's out for him.
So with that, loss of 8 after Powell. He's being helped to the sideline. But back to action here from the 39, and Zimmerman is swallowed up. Another loss on the play. 3rd down and very long for the Spartans, and they also have to hurry it up here under a minute left to go.
Richard Pope IV with his 2nd sack on the year, and Defiance is pinning their ears back because they know Manchester has to throw the football, especially after that first missed play there. And same thing here. They're just going to come after Zimmerman.
3rd down and 25 to the Spartans.
3 receivers to the near side. 40 seconds left to play. Zimmerman feels the pressure again. Steps up in the pocket, but gets tripped up. Back-to-back sacks. This one a loss of 5. And Manchester has gone from the 31 back to the 49.
Pope with the pressure again caused him to pull the ball down, but he got tripped up in the fray in there. And now Defiance is thinking, we got a little bit of time to work with here. If we get a good punt return, who knows what can happen.
Yeah, they called just their first time out of the half. So they have still a couple left to work with. After we see this punt, Manchester will look to pin them deep on their own side of the field. So it'll be a tough sledding for Defiance on this next possession, but still, anything can happen.
You got to imagine they're going to throw their punt block team out there, try and cause some kind of havoc. You know what? If you run into the kicker, okay, it's only 5 yards. If you run into the kicker, that doesn't do much because they're so far behind the football. Why not take a chance to go after, get a big play here on special teams?
So going from your own 31, or the Defiance 31, so back to your own 49-yard line. It'll be Kibler back out for his 3rd punt. 4th and 30 officially.
That's almost the distance between Defiance and Manchester.
It's a long way to go.
Oh, yeah, they are stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Fowler, the only one back. He's standing at the 10-yard line. Kibler able to get it away. Short kick, and hits off of somebody.
I thought it hit off a Manchester leg. As you see the official on the sideline official over there, the line judge, he's pointing. He saw it.
And he did. He's marking it down at the 24.
Yes, great job by that official.
The Defiance ball, 1st down and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
These guys are good. That's why they're refereeing college football. Let's see what Defiance wants to do. Here's the thing, though. You've had the interception. How much confidence do you have on Ambrose?
You also have a flag on the field, and it's going to go against Manchester. Actually, offsetting penalties, both unsportsmanlike conducts called for each team. Defiance and Manchester each picking up a personal foul penalty.
Offsetting penalties, so they'll just take the play. You would imagine, Jarrett, I'd have to think you're just going to have to kneel down right here.
Yeah, with just 20.5.
It does not look like it.
And you got 76 yards to go. You also have a couple timeouts to your disposal.
You're trusting your quarterback here, so let's see what Ambrose can do with that trust.
He's got 2 receivers to both sides. And in the backfield, it's Freeman to his left. So let's see what Defiance draws up here. Ambrose stepping up down the far sideline, going for Shaheed, and he overshoots him again. Boy, Ambrose is 7 of 21. So that's 14 incompletions, and you got half of those at least have been underthrown or overthrown balls.
Yeah, on a deep ball like that, you don't want to try and throw it to the sideline as much as you want to kind of, if you want to lead the receiver in or you want to lead him in, because that way, if the receiver's coming in, he can possibly get an interference call on the defensive player.
It takes off 6 seconds, so 14.3. Ambrose is going to be sacked. 2 players there to bring him down for Manchester.
Jabari Webb's a 6'1" senior from Billerica, Georgia.
And also Devontae Moore. And with that sack, that'll seal the first half. Manchester with 3 made field goals from Andrew Kibler and an interception return for Jabal Hubbard. They lead things 16-0, and the Spartans and Yellow Jackets will head to the locker room.
We'll take it down here and talk to Coach Nate with Keith Myers as he heads into halftime.
Got to be happy with the first half.
Yeah, we're playing pretty hard, and the effort's there. We just got to execute a little bit better on both sides, and it's just one of those things. We played a good half. Now we got to come out and play the second half and play even harder.
Nice crowd for homecoming and the whole entire facility. Thanks very much for having us. We'll talk to you hopefully at the end of the game, right?
Hopefully. We got a lot of work to do still. Got a lot of work to do, and we just got to keep going.
Field goal kicker's outstanding.
He's a senior, so we expect a lot of him, and he does a great job. He's a captain, so that's what we expect.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back up to you guys. Halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks so much, Keith. Coach Nate Jensen of the Spartans in his 6th year has a pretty comfortable 16-0 lead over Defiance.
Yeah, and if you look at the stats, you're going to see 92 yards of offense. That lost yardage on that last offensive series for Manchester really hurt them with their stats, but again, just like last week, not very much on the offensive end, but on the scoreboard, there's a difference. It's 16-0. That huge 7-yard pick six that Manchester got was really the big play in this game.
In week 2 of conference play, the Heartland Game of the Week at Manchester University with the Spartans on their home turf, with homecoming festivities taking place as well. They lead things 16-0. We'll now enter into our halftime show. There's the score. 16-0 Spartans on top of the Yellow Jackets. We'll take a break. We'll come back with some stats, numbers, and a little bit of other information for your halftime show on HCAC.TV and IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo!
You saying I did?
Yeah!
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
There we go. It's been recording the whole time.
My name is Hannah Hesterman, and I'm a freshman at Defiance College.
How's it going?
My name is Wayne Kelly.
My name is Derek. My name is Derek Lucas.
My name is Danielle Van.
My name's Ari Mahaffey. I chose DC because I started at a larger school where I was just another student, and my family had gone here, and I knew that you could build more one-on-one relationships with professors, and I thought that would be more beneficial for my education.
Small class sizes, and originally to play football, and just the atmosphere here on campus.
I heard that Northwest has a good nursing program, and I know Defiance works with them, so the nursing program was another factor.
I'm a commuter, and it's not too far from my house.
When I came on my visit here, I felt the very close family atmosphere, and I felt like I belonged here right away.
Defiance has given me an opportunity to build connections in the education program.
The umbrella.
I've met a lot of people from different backgrounds, different states.
I got to travel a lot.
UCA has given me the opportunity to play volleyball here, and with being an education major, it gives me the opportunity to get into the classroom right away at elementary schools.
I'm on the girls' tennis team, women's tennis team, and we have taken many trips already, and I love meeting new friends.
After I graduate, I'm going to look for a job at a school at home and hopefully become a special education teacher and eventually a principal.
I want to try to get a nursing job here.
Perfect world, I'll be in law school. And then as a career, I would like to become a professional sports agent.
After graduation, I will probably stay here or go somewhere else to get my master's.
I plan on being an early childhood education teacher somewhere in this area.
My favorite thing about DC is
how friendly people are here.
She's Little Turtle.
The opportunities on campus to have fun.
The small community, and everyone knows everyone, and everyone's very friendly around here.
It's nice to get to know everybody and have a lot of friends on campus.
I don't know what to say to you.
I would tell incoming freshmen to take advantage of the opportunities that they give you here.
Choose your friends wisely.
College is a lot different than what you think it's going to be.
You're going to have a grand old time.
Take advantage of the opportunities on campus.
I would tell them to take every opportunity they can get. Defy the ordinary.
Drop the mic.
That's all I got.
Man.
I'm actually a 5th generation student here at Manchester. All 4 of my grandparents went to Manchester. Both of my parents went to Manchester as well. I followed in the footsteps of my older brother as well in coming here. And that's kind of been a fun tradition to hear everybody's stories from Manchester while also making my own memories here. I didn't originally want to go to Manchester due to how close it was to home, but I toured here first and I really loved this warm, inviting campus where people would open doors for you and people would stop on the sidewalk and catch up for 5 to 10 minutes. And when I was looking at other schools, I really missed that opportunity, that feeling of being at home. I realized that Manchester is really where I fit in and where I belonged. My 2 pieces of advice would be to get involved really early on. There are a lot of great clubs on campus and organizations to be a part of. You get to find people who are like you and enjoy the same interests and activities as you, and it's a chance to grow as a person and to make a great group of peers and community and friends around you. My other piece of advice would be to travel abroad. Manchester has this really unique tradition with our January term classes, and that's been probably one of my favorite experiences I've ever had here. And I've had the awesome opportunity to travel off campus 3 times. I'm signed up right now to go on the Hawaii cross-cultural class. That's actually a fun one for me because that's a class that my grandfather started, traveling to Hawaii to learn about the different cultures there in cross-cultural psychology. So I'm really hoping it gets to go, but if it doesn't, I'm sure I'll still get to learn about cross-cultural psychology and go to Hawaii at some point in my life. Another one I went on was a medical practicum to Guatemala, and that was a life-changing experience. We went with 10 to 15 healthcare providers to a rural area in Guatemala that doesn't get healthcare on a yearly basis. And so it was amazing to see these healthcare providers provide care in an up-close and personal view. My mom, Lori Zimmerman, was also a part of the medical practicum. Most kids get to visit their parents on the Take Your Kid to Work day. And I've never gotten to see her work until we were in Guatemala, and I got to work with her for a day. And that was really interesting to see the impact she has on people, see the tenderness as she works with people, but also the intelligence as she's running through her head, all the different diagnoses it could be, the best way to present information. It's really interesting to see how she uses her liberal arts Manchester education to apply the psychology as well as the communication she's learned with her medical advice and her experience. So that was a life-changing experience to be able to really immerse myself into the field of healthcare.
Welcome to 1 Minute Campus Tours. This is Defiance Hall. It's so important they named it after the college. Why? Well, for starters, the offices of our president and academic dean are in this building. Talk about a powerful duo. Then, almost every student at one time or another will have class here. If you're an education or business major, you will be in this building like a lot. So enjoy the many grand features in Defiance Hall, such as the wide open lobby and the grandest staircase on campus. Framed by this grand staircase are our business and institutional advancement offices. Fun fact, Defiance Hall is home to the largest precast wall mural in town. How large? 2 stories tall. Whoa! If you're a veteran, thank you for your service. Visit our Veterans Office and special lobby just for you. Don't be surprised if you hear the fight song coming from the basement. Defiance Hall is the new home of our football headquarters. For more information on Defiance Hall, we would love for you to stop in and see it in person. Our admissions office will be happy to set up a time for you to visit. Thanks for going on this 1-minute tour of Defiance Hall.
What's up, guys? My name is Nick Minshaw. Today I'm here to talk to you about our business administration major at Defiance College. Hopefully by the end of this you'll be able to understand what it's all about and get the inside scoop of our business major. So you might be saying, why should I study business here instead of going somewhere else and studying something like fancy like international business or some kind of specialized business major? My answer to that would be that actually we can specialize the major for you. Basically within our major there are 5 concentrations that help to strengthen and specialize your degree. So we have entrepreneurship, marketing, management, finance, and accounting. Once you've decided which ones you'd like, we'll then get you into classes that are more related to those areas and get you in with faculty that have real-world experience. Now that you've heard about our business major, consider studying at Defiance College for a successful business career. I'm Nick Minshaw, and have a great rest of your day.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
And he was later named to the HCAC
Here at Manchester University, there's the coach, Keith Myers, out on the sideline with a special guest.
16-0 halftime. With us is the head coach of the basketball team, Nate Conley. You do a lot more than head coach basketball. Tell our fans what you do at football games.
Yeah, so at a place like Manchester, a lot of people wear a lot of different hats to help it be the place that it is. So one of my secondary duties on top of being the head men's basketball coach is I'm in charge of game day management for football. So I meet the opposing team, make sure the officials are taken care of, and I'm here pretty early in the day, and I stay here pretty late. So that's kind of my role.
He saw us coming in. He stopped us right away because he knew we were going to go to the concession stand. But on a game day management, it's overwhelming how many people are here and all the responsibilities and how the college just absorbs all those people.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes this place great is the people and the staff, faculty, students, alum. But then today you just look up in the stands and you see the supporters and fans of Manchester, and creates for a pretty special homecoming for us here in 2021.
And you forgot the fans up on the hill because the hill is pretty crowded today.
Yeah, and again, we're still breaking in the new stadium post-COVID and the pandemic, so not just the stands being full. We got a couple spectator hills here in North Manchester, Indiana. A beautiful day for a football game.
Talk a little bit about during the week. Does Dylan have meetings for all of those? Because game management, when the traffic guys alone, there's what 25 people out of the traffic.
Yeah, it takes a village. I mean, between administration and Dylan and his crew and Tammy Hoagland, the office manager, and she wears like 19 other titles in our department as well. Josh Zurich, the facility coordinator, Rick Espacet, the athletic director. It really is a bunch of people just working together to get things done on a day.
Talk about the TV impact with IndianaSRN now being part of the conference, not only for football, but wholly in other sports. Talk about that impact and what is the vibe at the university?
I think it's invaluable. Division III is a special division. It's the largest division in the country. It's bigger than D1, D2, NAIA. We don't always get the public recognition and the video time, and so I think it's awesome that you guys are here today, you and your crew, just marketing this game and marketing what a high-level Division III football game day looks like.
And I notice everything we tweet out, you tweet out as a basketball coach because you want that love. We'll talk about that next segment, but you want that love as well.
Yeah, you told me half off for every retweet I did coming into the game for my season, right?
I don't think I'm talking about that. The president of the company might have to talk about that. At game situation and security, no threats, and the way the pandemic has been, and the mask. It's nice to see fans not wearing those out in the stands. That's got to be a breath of fresh air, and that's got to be good news.
Yeah, it just feels like a college semester again. You know, a year ago, we're not out of the woods yet. There's still a lot of unknowns out there, but, you know, we're able to provide a safe and fun environment for everybody to be able to enjoy a football game, and this is something that not just Manchester, that we all missed a year ago. So, again, it's really rewarding us being able to do it right this year.
And we're so excited to be part of that. When we come back, we'll talk about some sports he does know. Golf. No, basketball. Right after this, it's halftime.
Are you ready?
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
I'm here.
Yeah, this is the pass, punt, kick competition, and it looks like he's going to be in decent shape here to kick a field goal for free tuition.
If the guy kicks a field goal where the ball lands, he gets free tuition. That's pretty cool. So, Coach, let's talk a little bit of basketball. The basketball season coming up pretty soon. How's things looking, and what the outcome look like?
Yeah, this is a really encouraging time of year for all Division III, but specifically our program in general. So October 15th is the first day that Division III can practice. So naturally, we're going to start the year off and get after it a week from yesterday. We return basically our entire roster off of the pandemic year, and we bring in a really deep and talented incoming freshman class. So I'm really proud to be the head coach of this program with a lot of buzz heading into this season, and I'm encouraged because of the guys we have and the work that they're putting in every single day.
You talked off camera that you know this conference because you played in this conference. All of your coaches, I mean every single coach in the whole entire league talks smack. What's the smack talk before the season?
There's not as much smack talk going on. We all have relationships, and some are a little closer than others, but we always try to take some jabs at each other whenever we can. It's more smack talk about who has gray in their beard and who's put on a few pounds in the offseason on Twitter than actually about the basketball side of things. So, again, really rich, deep tradition of head college basketball coaches being within this conference, and I'm just kind of a kid in a candy store soaking it up, being a part of it.
If it comes to broadcasters, and wait, don't even talk to me, Coach. All right, so you open up the season non-conference. What's the toughest non-conference game that you have?
Yeah, people think I'm a little crazy because I'm in my third year. Thus far, I've lost twice as many games as I've won, and 5 of the 7 non-conference Division III teams we've played have either been in the conference championship game within their league or the NCAA Division III tournament in the past 3 seasons. So we've got a loaded schedule. Trine returns everybody off of a team that was nationally ranked last season. Ohio Northern returns their whole roster off of a team that was in the OAC tournament championship game, and the list goes on and on and on. So I don't want to give anybody any bulletin board material. All 7 games, we're going to have to be able to bring it to be able to compete to give ourselves a chance to win the game.
And in the conference championship, doing some studying, because I know we're going to be up here a couple of times. Boy, the conference is loaded from top to bottom. There's not really a weak link in this conference.
Yeah, I think the Heartland, from a men's basketball standpoint, is one of the deeper men's conferences in the Midwest and even regionally. We don't get as much love as some other leagues from top to bottom, but really, you got to bring it night in or night out, or you're going to be in for a rude awakening.
That's the coach. We're going to see him hopefully sometime in November, December, whatever you want us, Coach. You just call us.
You're welcome anytime. I appreciate the time and opportunity, Keith.
Thanks so much for your hospitality. That's Coach Conley. We'll be back with the guys right after this.
Your hauling or moving project has arrived, and College Hunks Hauling, Junk, and Moving has you covered. Honest. Uniformed. Nice. No knowledgeable. Service. College hunks hauling junk and moving.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
We welcome you back to Manchester University for the Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN and HCAC.TV. Jarrett Lewis along with Sean Kroll. A first half that took a while for the offenses to start to get going. It was 3 field goals to begin things for the reigning special teams player in the conference of the week, that being Andrew Kibler. He was 3 for 3 on his field goal attempts, but a pick 6 for Jamal Hubbard, taking it back 59 yards, has this at our score here, 16-0.
191 yards in total offense combined between both teams. The one big play, the 7-yard interception return by Jamal Hubbard, that is the only touchdown of this game. You look at the big plays. Markel Jackson had the big punt return, 46 yards, which set up another field goal for them. And David Smith has 77 yards on 11 carries. That's pretty much the offense we've seen today. You know, Ambrose has 59 yards passing, and they've only got 40 yards rushing on 19 carries, does Defiance. So something's got to change. Hopefully some adjustments by the coaches at halftime. We'll get some more offense rolling on these squads.
The biggest difference we can see is in the passing game, and it's not necessarily a difference, but neither team has been able to connect and be over 50% completion percentage. So we'll see if those teams can interact with the passing game a little bit more in this second half. Spartans on top 16-0. We'll come back with the second half kickoff.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
My name is Brittany. A little thing I love about the Egg White Grill is the toasty English muffin. It's toasted perfectly. It's just a little crispy, but not like hard crispy, but just crispy enough that when you bite into it, everything is perfect.
My name is Curtis, and I love the Egg White Grill because the egg itself, it's like soft and fluffy, like a pillow. I wouldn't eat my pillow, but I'd eat the Chick-fil-A breakfast egg white sandwich for sure.
Back at Spartan Stadium, home of the Manchester Spartans. It's the Heartland Game of the Week, Week 2 edition. Last week, we saw Mount St. Joseph on top of Bluffton. And now this week, at the half, 16-0, our score with the Spartans leading Defiance. The second half kickoff is going to be received by Defiance coming up here. And one other halftime score that we have for you before we get this kickoff is Mount St. Joseph and Franklin tied up at 14 at the half. And we'll try to check up on the other two games for you, that being Bluffton and Anderson, as well as Hanover and Rose-Hulman.
Next week, we will be at Hanover as they take on Defiance again. One thing Defiance has been able to do so far defensively, Jared, is 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. When Manchester has gotten the ball down near the red zone, they've really stepped up and forced field goals, which is a huge thing. We'll see what Defiance tries to do as they come out to start the second half.
We'll see the Yellow Jackets next week as they will be on the road back-to-back weeks. We'll take a trip down south to Hanover. Meanwhile here, second half underway, 30 minutes left to go to decide this one. Manchester trying to go 2-0 in conference play. Defiance trying to avoid an 0-2 start. As Kibler kicks things off. Fielded at the 5 by Fowler. Starting right. Now brings it back towards the middle of the field, and Fowler gets loose with a flag coming in. Able to outrun Kibler as the referee goes down. Fowler's going to take it all the way back. And for the moment, it's a touchdown return of 95 yards, but with the penalty marker, you have to think this one's coming back.
Oh, my goodness. We had so much going on there on that play. We had a penalty. We had a ref get trucked on the play. Luckily, he's okay. And a return all the way to the house, but that little piece of hanky, that yellow flag down there, is going to bring that back.
It's a illegal block below the waist. Going to be called against Defiance, so scratch off the 6 points. And now Defiance, who hasn't had very much good field position to talk about, will begin this second half inside the 20. We'll see where the referees mark it down after the penalty yardage.
That would have completely changed the game had there not been a penalty on that, and they got the kickoff return for a touchdown, because you score without putting your offense on the field, and now they're back inside the 15-yard line to start. What a difference that makes.
Fowler does have 4 kickoff returns this year. Michael Martin has a kickoff return touchdown. But with the penalty marker down, they'll start things off at the 12-yard line with a run towards the left side. Here is Freeman. A tough guy to bring down, as we mentioned. It takes about 2 or 3 Manchester players to finally put him to the turf.
Got another good comp for one of our cameramen at halftime. Jerome Bettis is very much like what Tyshawn Freeman brings to the table.
Freeman back in the first half, 11 attempts for 34 yards rushing. Was one of the lone bright spots offensively for Defiance. This time, they'll pass it. And a connection made here, close to the first down marker. They'll be a yard short as Ambrose was able to get things out to his receiver, Jaden Scott.
I like that play call. Just a little quick out, hit it quick, get the ball, take a couple steps back, throw it. Don't give them too much to do. And now you're in a position you want to be in, 3rd and short here for your Defiance.
It's actually Antoine Nathan, freshman receiver, on the reception. First down pickup here for Freeman. Just needed the 1 yard and was able to come away with 5.
They got out to the scrimmage line super quick. Give it to the big man. Let him rumble, bumble, and stumble down. Get the first down, and now you got a little bit of momentum rolling here for your Defiance. You got to keep making smart plays.
Little hurry-up offense as well from the Defiance, not wasting any time with Freeman. Another flag comes in. Plenty of penalty markers in this contest for Manchester. They had 5 in the first half, and there were 6 penalties in the first half for the Yellow Jackets.
If the referee's throwing that from behind the quarterback, 99 times out of 100 it's going to be a holding, and that sure enough is what it was.
Pushing Defiance back, and any momentum that they've been able to pick up, there's either been penalties or negative plays that come following.
Only 2 third-down conversions combined by both these teams in the first half. So they're having a tough time sustaining drives, and now you've got 1st and 20 if you're Defiance.
From the 18-yard line, and some more laundry.
Make that 1st and
field.
25.
False start. 8 total penalties now for Defiance. They've had 2 false starts, 2 holdings, and 2 pass interference calls. So now, like you said, Sean, 1st and 25. This is where the Yellow Jackets began their drive. Freeman trying to get things going, moving forward out to almost the 20-yard line.
Number 36, Deshaun Freeman on the carry.
It's not too bad for a first down play when you've got first down from a different zip code, but we'll see what they do. They gonna have to throw the ball here these next couple of plays if they want a chance at moving the chains again.
So now 2nd down, and we'll call it about 18. Ambrose on the hitch pattern, able to connect with Nathan again. His 2nd catch in this opening possession. Didn't get any touches in the first half, and now we'll set up about a 3rd and 8 upcoming for Defiance.
That was perfect. Great play there. Got a good gain on that play. Now you got 3rd down and about 7. A lot more manageable after starting 1st and 25. Watch for Amin Shahid here.
Shahid at the bottom of your screen. Ambrose looking the other way. Through the hands of Antoine Nathan. Nathan has gotten 3 looks on this drive. Incomplete pass. And we'll see Bolanos out for the 6th time this afternoon.
Again, nice defense by Jaquan Walker on that right side by his lonesome on an island. And, you know, the quick pass just didn't connect, and now they're giving it up without being on the field for at least 4 minutes.
Manchester has only allowed 99 yards of total offense to Defiance from that first half. Defiance going forwards, backwards on this possession, and now we'll have another punt. Pressure comes in, nearly a block. Bolanos forces the flag being called as the punt was fielded right at the 50-yard line, and it's going to be just a running into the kicker. That penalty will not enforce a 1st down.
They had a shot at it. I thought it would be a roughing since he went into his plant leg, but we'll see.
It was 4th down and 7 for Defiance, and it appears that they're going to decline the penalty as it won't affect Defiance going for it if they were to accept it. Now Manchester has it at the 48.
Let's see what Manchester now does in terms of adjustments on the offensive side. When we look at some of their stats, Tyler Zimmerman 3 of 9 for 19 yards. David Smith has 77 yards. After that, your next leading rusher is Dave Paul with 8 yards on 1 carry.
So for the first time in the second half, we see Zimmerman and the rest of the offense. They'll start things off from the 48 with a counter give to David Smith. Bouncing things out towards the numbers and dragged down at the 49-yard line of Defiance.
Kept trying to carry it out wide, but nice pursuit there by the Defiance defense. Keep him to a short gain, make it 2nd and long.
Great first half of play from the tailback of Manchester, David Smith. 11 carries for 77 yards, had a long of 31. It's the longest offensive play this afternoon by either team, if you don't take into account the interception return for Manchester. Now back to Smith again, another counter. Decent pickup again for number 34, close to a 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Spartans.
Nice shiftiness there as he got between the tackles to try and find more space, gain more yards. Now you've got a 3rd and short here if you're Manchester. Kind of allows you to try some more things to keep the sticks moving and get further deep into Defiance's territory.
Another give to Smith. Bounces it outside. One man to beat, who's going to cut him off at the 25-yard line. A lot of hand fighting between Smith and the defender, and Smith does get up after it, but a tough run again from David Smith, the freshman tailback.
Nice job cutting it back outside, as you'll see. Tries to go up the middle, then cuts it back outside because he sees space, and then he goes at it with Marcel Maxwell Jr., sophomore from Georgia. Like you said, tried to throw the stiff arm, but Maxwell held on. But they're close to the red zone.
Ends up being a 22-yard gain for David Smith. He's now over the century mark in rushing yards. New back in the backfield, it's Dave Paul. Just his 2nd carry this afternoon, and good for just the 1 yard.
Giving Smith a breather there after that long run. Yeah, 107 for David Smith, 7.6 yards per carry. That's a pretty good clip.
No Jalen Love, also no Christian Smith. Those are the 2 leading rushers for Manchester. Back to the ground game, and Paul again. A little bit more this time. About 4 yards. 3rd down and 5 upcoming.
All runs so far for Manchester on their first drive here of the second half. It's going to be interesting to see what they dial up here, if they want to let Zimmerman throw it or they want to keep handing it off. David Smith is not in the backfield with them.
Zimmerman has had the easiest job this afternoon, has only had to throw the ball 9 times. Did have the 1 interception, but it's been a lot of handoffs to guys like David Smith and Dave Paul. 3rd down and 5. Here's Paul trying to get the edge, but he's tackled down after the short pickup. And there on the stop is Coltrane.
Great pursuit there by Coltrane. It looked like Paul had the corner, was going to get the 1st down, but Coltrane tracked him down. And it's another field goal attempt.
This will be the 4th field goal attempt from Kibler. He's been good from 41, 38, and 25. This one is going to be 34 yards. Spartans on the right hash. Kick is up, and Kibler is still perfect. Extends the Manchester lead to 19-0. 7:35 left to play in this 3rd quarter. It's the Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Manchester University and Spartan Stadium. The 4th made field goal today for Kibler. Able to extend the Spartan lead for head coach Nate Jensen, who is entering his 6th year, a graduate of Defiance College, where he was pretty much a stud. Led the Yellow Jackets to a conference championship in 2001. But this is a game he says that he wants to win every single year. He wants to defeat the school that he graduated from.
Kicked out of bounds there, and one of the things I think that he likes about the fact is that his wife is a Manchester grad as well.
Well, that helps out his cause a little bit for coming to Manchester.
So kick goes out of bounds. Defiance will get the ball at the 35-yard line.
trying to find some momentum, some rhythm offensively is Defiance. He started the last drive with a couple of completions to Antoine Nathan. And this guy as well, getting fed the rock. Freeman moving around a lot and covering a lot of ground to only pick up about 3 yards.
Great job of pursuit of the defense. He keeps trying to bounce off the defense and get more yards, but the pursuit keeps coming and just drags him down. He's got to wade through a lot of arms to get anywhere offensively with his rushing attempts.
Back in the shotgun. They've been there all day, and now Ambrose rolling out to his right, has some pressure and is going to be able to connect with his receiver, being Deontay Fowler, for just a short pickup. Ambrose saw a lot of pressure coming in from Sam Huffman.
And Hubbard there on the coverage and the tackle. He of the 70-yard interception return for the only touchdown of tonight's game. We may have to look up to see what the record for most field goals in that HCAC game is.
It's an impressive mark so far through 2.5 quarters of play for Kibler. 3rd down and 4. Defiance going back to Fowler, and right there to make the stop short of the sticks for Manchester being Timmy Bozeman.
Textbook tackle. Once he caught the ball and turned around, next thing he knew, his head was hitting the turf. But it's 4th and short, and looks like Defiance is going to go for it on their side of the field here early. Look at this tackle. Boom, shoulder in, took him straight down.
Defiance goes to Fowler on back-to-back plays. They have a 4th and 1. Manchester bringing in everybody, and it's going to be close. Manchester thinks they got the stop, and the offense is already making their way out onto the field.
Yeah, that's spotted short. Had to get to the 45.
Referee steps in and says it is a stop by Manchester. Freeman is short of the line to gain. Turnover on downs, and the Spartans will have things at the 44-yard line.
An incredible job there by the front four of Manchester. Sam Huffman, Jabari Webb, James Matthews, and Marvin Collins just stood up Defiance's offensive line and stopped the big man Freeman from getting the first down yardage. Hey, don't forget, we have Defiance next week at Hanover on Game of the Week. Manchester will be at Mount St. Joseph.
Mount St. Joseph in action against Franklin today. That was a 14-14 score at the half. Meanwhile here, back to work again is David Smith, spinning his way around to 9 yards on 1st down and 10. A good first play for the Spartans, who are looking for their first offensive touchdown in this game.
You know, I love the fact that both these running backs are hard to bring down, but they're hard to bring down for different reasons. Tyshawn Freeman of Defiance is just a straight bowling ball, and you really got to take some punishment from him. Whereas Smith just seems to like never give up, and he's Elastic Man almost.
Smith takes a breather, and now in on the carry is Christian Smith. This is the first time we're seeing him in action. Leading rusher for the Spartans has seen a lot of the work go to David Smith.
5'4" senior, you heard me right, 5'4" senior from Fortville, Indiana, Mount Vernon High School.
Hey, we're familiar with that area.
We are.
Mount Vernon got a nice win last night against Shelbyville. They led 49-0 at the half, and then the lights went out.
Oh.
So no more game. We'll just call it. And Mount Vernon was able to put up 7 scores in the first half. Wildcat here with David Smith back into the ballgame for Manchester on 3rd down and short. Picks up the first down for the Spartans. Only needed 1, and he got 9.
Reminder, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audios without the express written permission of the HCAC and IndianaSRN is prohibited. I love the fact that when he got to the outside and the defenders came in, he switched the ball to his left hand on the outside part of his body to protect it.
Looking to pass. Zimmerman out in the flat, connecting with Lathrop. Pushed out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Big time pickup on the pass play, the longest pass play that Zimmerman and the Manchester offense has had here this afternoon.
Great throw by Zimmerman. Got some protection, set his feet, and placed it perfectly to Lathrop
10 at the 11-yard line.
for a first down. Oh, can they get a first down without scoring? I think they can, barely.
It looks like they can. They are at the 11, and the give to Christian Smith. Christian plows forward to about the 5-yard line.
If you're Manchester right here, you're trying to break the will of Defiance by running it down their throat. You got that one pass play, but put it in the end zone and putting the nail in the coffin.
Now we have an injured player down for the Yellow Jackets. Not quite sure who it is, but both teams now will head to their respected sidelines. We'll take a break as well. When we come back, hopefully he is up and good for Defiance. Spartans threatening to score again.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
With some help from the trainers, player is up for that Defiance defense. Appears to be number 95. That's Daniel Folks. 6'2 freshman, 3'10 out of Marion, Alabama.
A couple of score updates at the half. Hanover and Rolls-Holman tied at 7. And just a short time ago, Mount St. Joseph scored. They're up 21-14 on Franklin with 4:56 to go in the third quarter.
Now out of that injury timeout in the Wildcat is David Smith. We'll try to beat everybody towards the left side. Everyone on the right side of the formation, and Smith took it left and actually went backwards for a yard.
Lots on the play brings up third down and
now another third down situation. Defiance defensively has been good in these spots, forcing Manchester into field goals.
Can they do it again? They have done it so many times and forced a lot of field goals. You've got a chance here to make that happen once again, but what can Manchester dial up here on offense?
Here's Zimmerman looking towards the right. Slant pattern, couple deflections, and making the diving effort was Kyrell Franklin.
pass is incomplete.
Pass falls incomplete.
Fourth down and 8 for the Spartans.
I think Zimmerman was expecting his receiver to be in a different spot there for where he threw it.
And the announcement from the referee was Franklin losing the helmet, as you can see there on the replay. But it won't matter. Field goal unit back out there for Kibler for attempt number 5. He was good from 25 back in the second quarter. And now from 25 here again. Good snap, good hold, and a good kick from Andrew Kibler. He's 5 for 5, makes the lead 22-0 for the Manchester Spartans. 2:03 left to play in this third quarter. It's the Heartland Game of the Week, powered by IndianaSRN. Another good field goal through the uprights for Andrew Kibler, who was Special Teams of the Week for the Heartland Conference last week after drilling a career-long 49-yard field goal to get the victory over Franklin last week. 27-24 that score. Only 9 first downs is what Manchester picked up in that game. They gave up 20 to the Grizzlies and had 172 yards of total offense, but still 27 points was enough. Short kick fielded at the 25, and at the 27 is Defiance.
Might be Special Teams Player of the Week again this week with all of his field goals.
See another flag come in. It's at the
looks like right where they
at the
kicked
kickoff.
it.
Yeah.
He's brought down by number 12.
Somebody offsides, trying to get a little bit of a head start. They'll tack on that 5 yards from the end of the run.
Trying to look up real quick to break the NFL record for most field goals in the game is 8. Rob Baronis of the Tennessee Titans against the Houston Texans, but
well, Kimbler's on a good trend. He's got a chance. He's at 5 right now.
You know, if the SID here, Dylan Bender, wasn't so adept at putting in statistics, he may have had a chance to look that up, but he's just killing it with the stats. He and his whole crew here have been fantastic this afternoon, and the rest of y'all are on notice. The food in the press box here in Manchester is going to be hard to beat.
I mean, this has only been our second trip, but it has been a good start for the Manchester press box. And we'll see see what Hanover brings us next week.
Hey, they set the bar high here at Manchester, that's for sure.
They sure did. 2 yards on the scamper for Ambrose. And we're still waiting on Keith's hot dog ranking.
Yeah.
The Keith Myers concession confession. That's what we're going with. 3 yards here for Tyshawn Freeman. There's a little bit more than just hot dogs there at the concession stand too.
100%.
But the hot dogs are kind of the staple at sporting events for concession stand.
It is.
You know?
It is. You know, Ambrose 11 of 25 for 77 yards. They've really got to get Freeman going too, but they got to put points on the board.
They roll out Ambrose and a juggling catch made. It's going to be enough for a first down. As the reception for Defiance is Xavier Seabury, the first time we've seen him here tonight, freshman 6'2", 230.
Didn't give him a great ball to catch right down on his knees, but he did a good job of securing it with 2 defenders on him and again moving the sticks.
Ambrose making a good break on the ball was the defender for Manchester, being Jaquan Walker, and almost got there a little bit too early, but no flag from the official.
Manchester has done a fantastic job of shutting down Amin Shahid. You know, we focused on him in the pregame show on his numbers, but Jaquan Walker on this side as a cornerback has had a lot of breaks on the football all afternoon long.
Second down and 10. Ambrose, read option. And he pitched it out to Freeman. And somebody losing their helmet, but making the defensive stop was Rigo Villa, wearing that number 0. Loss of 2 yards on the play.
Great job by Sands. He stood Freeman straight up. And that's hard to do because Freeman's a big boy.
So we got the wrong number. Willis Sands. He wears number 0 for Manchester. Number 0 for Defiance.
5'9", 205.
Now entering the fourth quarter. 15 minutes left to decide this one, and it's the Manchester Spartans still on top. Score 22-0 in the Heartland Game of the Week here on IndianaSRN and HCAC.TV. Back down to the sidelines for another report. Here's Keith Myers.
Well, you know, it's been a really fun day here at Manchester. Sean, thanks for throwing me underneath the bus. I really appreciate that. But I think the ice cream was really good, but the hamburger was better than the hot dog this week. So I will give a 9.9 for the hamburger.
Holy cow.
If they put onion on it and a little bit of cheese, it would have been a 10. But it's pretty good. I'm looking forward to going to Hanover next week because who knows what they're going to give me.
Okay, Keith, you set the bar extremely
Yeah,
high
I
with the
set the bar high.
9.9.
And don't forget this, guys. The player of the game has chocolate chip cookies coming from Miss SRN. Miss SRN.
That would be Mrs. Myers.
That would be Mrs. Debbie Myers, yes.
And you were talking about the treat from earlier.
That's what it
It's
is.
the word treat. That's
he
what it is.
spoiled it. I wanted to wait till the end to say it, but Keith's Kitchen with the very high. Keith knows hamburgers.
What happens when he eats a better hamburger, though?
I know.
That would be the perfect hamburger because he'd have to give it a 10, right?
Well, you can extend your decimals. And we'll see if Defiance can extend their offensive series there.
It's 3rd down and long, 12 yards to go. Ambrose looking to pass and immediately feels the pressure and will have to tuck it in and run.
Flag.
Flag comes in at the backfield as Ambrose began to get away.
Got a feeling that might be a hold again, yep.
It is indeed a holding call. Ambrose was going to be really close to that 1st down marker, may have been a yard or two short. But it is not going to matter with the holding penalty.
Good pressure again from Manchester, forced him to the outside. He had some room, but the last little kind of yank by Defiance is going to set them back really far. And was that a great segue or what?
Sure was.
I thought, you know what, even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. So my dad always said.
So now 3rd and even longer. 22.
Just don't turn it over here if you're Defiance.
Still just a 3-score game, although Defiance is not going to get a conversion here. Sack on the play, and guess who? In the backfield again for Manchester is James Matthews Jr.
He's been fantastic today.
A couple other players getting into that backfield as well, and Ambrose here of late has just had no time to find his receivers. He's had to get it out quick. He's had to extend the play with his legs, and it's now the 5th sack this afternoon for Manchester.
Defiance's offensive line is beefy, but I wouldn't say they're the quickest, and I think that's where Manchester has really kind of had an advantage over them on that side of the line of scrimmage.
7th punt for Bolanos. Fielded in by Markel Jackson, and he's dragged backwards just a couple of yards, but still.
Good job, Johnson.
Spartans are going to have good field position here yet again and trying to make this one a little bit too much out of the reach of Defiance.
Great tackle there on the punt return by Malcolm McNeil from Kingston, New York on the tackle. So let's see if we get another field goal, maybe a touchdown here for Manchester.
Are we rooting for more field goals? We just want to see
I
Kibler.
want to see it. I want to see a record.
We'll start things off with Smith, that being David Smith, 18th carry of this game for the freshman, able to pick up 8 yards.
The word I'm looking for Smith is when he's hard to get down. He's slippery. For some reason, there's just something about him that makes it hard to bring him down. And he's been fantastic today. 130 yards so far. 127, 7.1 yards per carry. They got him there on that one.
This time, Defiance able to shed their blocks and get into the backfield. Justin Caballero was there for the Yellow Jackets. Loss of 2 on the play. 3rd down and 5.
Richard Pope was there as well for Defiance.
3rd down and 5 for the Spartans.
Still manageable even though you lost yardage on that play.
Rolling out to his left is Zimmerman, and he's going to be sacked. Zimmerman had nowhere to go. Play busted up immediately and coming out of the bottom of the pile. This time we see number 0 for Defiance. That's Rigo Villa. And we won't see Kibler on the field goal attempt, but we will see him out for his 4th punt.
Both offensive lines have had a trouble on passing downs, protecting their guy and letting the play set up and letting him get the ball out.
Man running off the field late for Defiance. No flag comes in as Kibler's punt heads out of bounds toward the Defiance bench right at the 30-yard line.
Punt goes out of bounds. It'll be Defiance's ball, 1st down and 10 at their own 30.
Kind of a wounded duck, but still long enough to pin them back. And as we've seen so far in terms of, you know, Defiance and their overall yardage, it's been a tough go for them.
Passing the football, Ambrose has been able to come away with 75 yards passing, but that's on 27 attempts. And more than half of those have ended up falling incomplete. But still, there's time left on the clock, 11:53. Ambrose looking to pass, and a nice catch right at the midfield stripe. Jelani Hall with the reception, and a big-time pickup for Ambrose through the passing game. The longest pass play that they have had, and it goes for 21.
Great job coming across the middle for Hall, or no, he got open from the left-hand side, got to a spot right at midfield, and Ambrose hit him. They were averaging 1.6 yards per play. That's going to go up after that one.
Now Ambrose looking to pass again. As a trailing defender lobs it over, and it's Fowler with the catch. And if Fowler keeps his feet, he could be going a little bit farther, but what an acrobatic snag for number 18.
Elevator going up. My goodness, look at the elevation on this pass. Great job by losing the receivers. He goes out, but just up and bow and behind him too. What a play.
Are sticking with the passing game. Ambrose close to going over the line of scrimmage, and 3 consecutive completions now for Jordan Ambrose.
That's the benefit of that long play from that first pass to midfield, is it makes the defense be like, okay, we got to make sure we can cover that, and it opens stuff up in the mid-range. Short passing game like this lets them kind of get to their athletes in space, let them do some work.
Great looking drive here now for Defiance. They have things at the 31 of Manchester. They'll go back to the running attack on 2nd down and short, and maybe a second effort puts Freeman with just a half-yard left to pick up that 1st down.
Number 36, Deshaun Freeman on the carry.
Good spot for them here. You got to think they took a shot with Freeman there. You got to think they're probably going to go at him again, just at least to keep that moving to get closer to the red zone.
3rd down and less than a yard to go. Ambrose will look to pass. Rolling out to his right, and wisely keeps it for himself to pick up that 1st down, and
fumbled.
Manchester says they have the football. Ambrose coughs it up. And on the recovery for Manchester appears to be Devontae Moore.
Man, I do not like that play call. If you're going to run with him, with Ambrose, make it a designed run. They're going to throw on 3rd and short. That's not who they are, but you watch. And he gets the football away from his body. Look, as he comes around to the right with the pressure, he's going to throw. The football, he's not carrying it close and gets stripped from behind, and then he just stripped it right out of his hands.
And Moore says, look what I found, and what a terrible ending to that drive for Defiance. Had the passing game working for him for the first time in quite some time. Ambrose had completed 8 of his last 9 passes dating back to the start of the 2nd half.
I feel like they kind of got greedy there. Passing game was working well, but when you're 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, you've got Freeman, use him.
Almost like a Marshawn Lynch and the Seahawks situation.
Oh, yeah.
in that Super Bowl. But Defiance are going to kick themselves after that fumble and not converting on 3rd down and short.
Dare I ask who won that Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
We don't have to talk about it.
42, Richard Pope. And number 0, Rivia.
Saw a couple of
2 on the play, brings up 3rd down.
runs up the middle for Manchester. That would be David Smith.
Chance here to keep the offense out on the field. You need to do that.
Dave Paul now gets the carry and tackled in the backfield. Defiance swallowing up ball. A couple of tackles made there by Marcel Maxwell as well as Justin Caballero there on the stop.
You want to make sure and sustain more of the clock on these drives, even though there's 8:26 to go. Defiance is going to go up tempo now, as we learned from our sideline reporter Keith Myers. So you want to make sure your defense has rest and doesn't give up scores, because, man, we've seen crazier things happen.
Just saying.
Give some credit also to Ramick Hairston on forcing this punt from Kibler. Coming in to field it is Fowler, and able to get a few yards after the reception out to the 44.
Good starting field position for Defiance, and let's see what their hurry-up offense looks like, how they run it, because they really don't have any choice at this point, Jarrett, but to go no huddle.
Time is not on the side of Defiance. Still a 3-score game, but you'll have to score quickly here. And this is where you would have loved to see at least 3 points on that previous drive. Probably would have seen them go for it if they had a 4th down situation anyways.
Yes.
But to still at least come away with points for Defiance, you're sitting in decent position here. You would only be down 2 scores with 7:40 left to play. Here's Ambrose. Going for it all down the field. He has Shaheed, and he just overthrows him. How many times has Ambrose looked for Shaheed on go routes, and he just overthrows him by a yard? So now 2nd and 10. For Defiance. They don't burn much time off the clock with that previous pass. Ambrose, pressure off the edge. They set up a screen, and Manchester is there to swallow up Freeman in the backfield.
Read perfectly by Willis Sands.
And he had some help with Michael Bathke getting into the backfield as well. The blockers for Defiance not there to give Freeman some room to work with.
Defiance 3rd and 14 here. Yeah, they need a miracle right about now.
Third down and 14 from the 39-yard line. Ambrose feels the pressure again, and not much effort into that pass. Nobody in the area as far as a receiver. Maybe Freeman. No, Freeman's not even around that spot, and now the referees will discuss.
That might be intentional grounding. But again, we see that the offensive lines for both these squads have not done a good job protecting their quarterbacks.
And they will call the intentional grounding as Latson Stoutem, or excuse me, that would be Marvin Collins for Manchester, brought the pressure right off the bat.
And that is a loss of down, so it's 4th down.
Back out to punt. We're talking about records for field goals. Records for punts for Bolanos. This is punt number 8.
And you know what's interesting too is one of the keys we had at the beginning of the game was time of possession for Defiance. They're leading in time of possession, not by much, but they're leading.
Bolanos with a great punt. Spiraling and opting to touch it was Markel Jackson. and Defiance can't advance the punt.
If you call the fair catch and can't catch it, don't slap for it.
That's the second time now on a punt return that Manchester has muffed it and given it back to Defiance.
That wasn't the best choice there, you could say, by Markel Jackson. They were awfully close, but if you call fair catch, it's your football. Go get it. If they hit you, that's on them.
And with that previous play, also a personal foul on Defiance, who punted it away.
How many penalties is that now on? That's their 11th penalty on Defiance.
And it couldn't have come at a worse spot, because you would have had great field position like you did when you recovered that muff punt in the first half. And now you're still in Manchester territory, but you're at the 45, not where you could have been, as close as the 30-yard line.
Almost 200 yards in penalties for Defiance today.
Ambrose back out onto the field and going for it all again for Shaheed, and like reading a book over and over, still just off the mark trying to hit Aman Shaheed.
You know, Ambrose throws a pretty good ball. He's got pretty good distance on that. Just can't quite get the hook up with Amin Shaheed.
And on the throw, Ambrose got roughed. They call it roughing the passer. So the penalties are just going back and forth between these two teams. Both teams are in double digits, I'm sure.
That's only the 5th penalty on Manchester.
Really?
Yes. 68 yards.
Well, they had 4 in the first half, so that's just their first penalty of this second half, but it seems like much more than that. Anyways, starting at the 30, Ambrose, not much room to work with, can't get off the pass, and takes a big lick on the Manchester sideline and actually loses his helmet along with it.
I'm just hoping to see us break 300 yards in total offense with these teams combined. We're not quite there yet. Ambrose looks a little weary here.
And he's going to have to come out for one play. And replacing him at the quarterback position
is number 11, which we don't have on our...
It's Dalen Lang.
Well, okay.
So Dalen Lang will play this one snap, and they'll allow him to throw it out. Drop pass near side. He wouldn't have picked up much yardage anyway, and unable to haul it in was Dakota Shaw.
They're going to leave Lang in, or are they going to let... Oh, they're bringing Ambrose back. Nope. Different player. Maybe they're going to say, okay, Jordan, you took a bit of a beating today. Let's let Lang play out the rest of this string.
We weren't even really thinking about that with Defiance not being able to score, maybe trying to put out another quarterback and see how that works for him. Lane has appeared in 2 games this year. He's 16 of 25 for 170 yards passing, a touchdown, and a pick. And no play here as the referees get involved.
Yes, Jelana Hall is going to be offside. Just took off a little bit early. But why not see what you've got? Ambrose, as you know, when he ran off the field, he ran across the field. You could tell he'd taken some punishment today. So let's see what this kid can do. And you've got 5:49 left in this fourth quarter. Maybe he can do some things.
Dylan Lane, junior quarterback, looking to pass again on 3rd down and long. Fowler out in the flat, and great coverage there defensively. Jabal Hubbard had the pick 6 back in that second quarter. a long touchdown we've seen here this afternoon.
You got to go for it here.
Under 5.5 left to play. No choice for the Yellow Jackets.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that was it looked like it might have been a face mask, but he must have got him around the shoulder pads as quick as he whipped around.
Two receivers, both sides. One high safety for Shaheed, and unable to make a play on that pass. And that will all but do it, as Manchester just has 5:04 on the clock left to wind down, and 3 scores. It's going to be too much to overcome for Defiance.
Looks like that's going to be the case, and now it's going to be David Smith right, David Smith left, probably. But you've also got Christian Smith in as well.
David Smith, 21 carries, over 130 yards rushing. Not out there for the moment. It is Christian. Looking to pass. Zimmerman.
Wow.
Feels some pressure. Bounces off a couple of blockers. And again here takes a huge hit. And having something to say about it on the smack was Marcel Maxwell. But props to Zimmerman for taking the hit, getting up, and able to get 4 yards out of that play.
He threw a shoulder on that one. You can hear it up here in the booth. David Smith looks like he might be a good candidate for our HCAC Player of the Game.
I would have to agree with you. He has been the workhorse for Manchester. Zimmerman has had an easy job, just 10 pass attempts this afternoon. But it's been the likes of David Smith getting over 20 carries. You also have Christian Smith and Dave Paul have gotten involved, but David Smith has been the lead back, and right now the leading candidate for that Player of the Game award.
Getting a little chippy out there. You guys got to settle down here.
Manchester not really slowing down a whole lot. Zimmerman will want the play clock to wind down a little bit. It's currently at 8. And take the snap, give it to Christian. Up the middle, Christian takes a hit at that 43-yard line, which is what he needed for the first down, and it will be enough for a new set of downs for the Spartans.
It's exactly what they wanted, to run the clock some more. But somebody's down on the play.
Player down for Defiance is DeMonte Spurlock. As you can see there, the sideline for...
I think it's actually Richard Pope.
It is. It's 42, Richard Pope.
He's been in the backfield quite a bit. A sophomore from Daytona Beach, Florida, Atlantic High School.
Pope is still down, and also down on the field is Keith Myers.
Just want to let you guys know, on Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. Coach Nate eats tacos every Tuesday. And if you haven't seen his videos with his kids, you got to check it out on our Twitter page. It's Taco Tuesday. When we came in, Sean, what did he say? I have Taco Thursday. He told me I was not part of the organization. You got to have Taco Tuesday.
Hey, speaking of Twitter, Keith, follow us at IndianaSRN on Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the replay of any game we webcast.
What a shameless plug. Good job, Sean.
Well, you know, I do what I can.
Coach Nate Jensen is probably going to have a good weekend, celebrating homecoming at Manchester, and soon enough we'll have Taco Tuesday.
Don't forget, next week we will be at Hanover, this Defiance squad again, traveling to Southern Indiana. Jarrett, week 3.
And the Panthers also in action this afternoon. They are a 1-0 team in the conference, taking on
Rose-Hulman, I believe.
Rose-Hulman it is, and last we checked, they lead at 14-7. Hanover does, and that game is in the third quarter. We're starting the fourth quarter, actually. Another carry for Dave Paul, goes for just one. And now it's just milking the clock down if you're the Spartans.
Well, some other things going on. Earlham hangs on to defeat Manchester in volleyball 3-1. Hanover defeated Defiance 3-1 as well. You're correct, 14-7 early in the second quarter. 28-14 Mount St. Joseph over Franklin with 1:41 left to go in the third. Tyler Prather again. So, hey, you get player of the week and things go well for you.
They sure do. Prather has Mount St. Joseph on top 28-14 as that game is into the fourth quarter. And he was our very first Heartland player of the game last week when Mount St. Joseph was at Bluffton. And now Mount St. Joseph also trying to go 2-0 in conference play, as will Manchester. Under 2 minutes left in this one, a 3rd and 6. Another give to Paul. Are they close to a first down? Looks like he's going to be marked just half a yard short, but Paul has been a nice addition in that running game. He's had 6 carries now and has been able to pick up positive yardage on most of them. 4th down and 1. Punting unit will be out on the field. I would say if Smith didn't have the game that he did, Kibler is definitely in that conversation.
You're right, yeah.
And he was tremendous today as he punts this ball away end over end. 5 for 5 on his field goals, 1 for 1 on his PATs. Now on the season, Kibler is 7 of 8 on field goal attempts. 41.2 seconds left to go. Looks like we'll just have maybe one or two plays from Defiance before we wrap this one up.
You know, we just talking about Tyler Prather. Was 3 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run.
On homecoming, the Spartans are going to get a victory. They'll move to 2-3 overall on the season. Their non-conference losses to Trine, Alma, and Olivet College to begin the year, but able to defeat Franklin last week on a last-second field goal, 27-24. And now will hang on to defeat Defiance, who's going to fall to 0-5 on the season.
Boy, you like being 2-0 in the conference, and you got your work cut out for you next week, as well as you travel to Mount St. Joseph and their high-powered offense.
What a huge tackle, and kind of wrestling style. WWE brings him down into the turf. Hard tackle by Hubbard, and also
Keith,
on the stop was Marvin Collins.
Get off the top rope. It's not WWE.
Well, a flag comes in before this final play. We're at 14 seconds.
Sorry, Keith gets excited when you mention wrestling.
Oh, I know.
But hey, stay tuned. Keith will have our HCAC player of the game after the end of this game. He'll also have Coach Nate, I believe, won't he?
He got to talk to Coach Jensen at halftime as they were up 16-0. And now 6 points in this second half will be able to do the job for Coach Jensen. Last time these two teams met was during spring season. Both these teams able to get at least 6 games under their belt during spring football. Defiance came out on top 22-16, but the Defiance alum, Coach Nate Jensen, is going to top the school he graduated from, the school that he played at as a defensive lineman. And a sack from Manchester is going to seal the deal. Give credit to Devontae Moore, who had the fumble recovery a possession ago when Defiance had the football. The Spartans Winners on their homecoming weekend, 22-0. They shut out the Yellow Jackets of Defiance.
Boy, if you're Coach Nate Jensen and the second-year defensive coordinator Khalil Hill of Manchester, you love that big fat 0 on the scoreboard for Defiance when you can, if I may say, an empty sheet there, a clean sheet on the defensive end. You gotta love that, and that gives them some more momentum after their big win last week.
Both teams now meeting through the middle. In a moment, we'll be able to send it down to Coach. He'll have the winning head coach, and then we'll also get to see who the HCAC player of the game is.
And getting his treats. Sweet treats from Miss Myers.
Nice shout out to Mrs. Myers, Miss IndianaSRN. What a great woman, able to put up with a guy like Keith, first of all. And today's his wedding anniversary.
I thought it was yesterday.
Or no, it was yesterday. Yes, that's the word. It was yesterday for the coach.
I do want to give a shout out. Today is my oldest son Brandon's 18th birthday. You are becoming the man I hoped you would be, and I love you very much, son.
Awesome.
He's going to sing the fight song with his
0.
team.
We'll see the fight song come in first from Manchester, something they do after every game, and they are pumped up to be able to get this win on homecoming. A packed stadium, great turnout for the Manchester community, and they see their team go 2-0 in the Heartland Conference.
You got to love these traditions. I mean, it's just fantastic. Lining up, hey, we won, let's sing our fight song in front of our home fans that join in with us, because we are all one. They were selling shirts out front that said unity, and you can see some unity right here, right now, as they're coming across the track to the stands to sing the fight song. It's good stuff.
Some cowbells in the bleachers as well. Loud and proud for the Spartan faithful. And here comes Coach Jensen. Awesome stuff.
Good stuff right there.
You love to see it. Very quickly, some numbers for Manchester. Zimmer only had 9 pass attempts, 3 completions for 19 yards. 4 different receivers with a catch, including Lathrop, Powell, Sims, and Gatewood. But running the football has been their strong suit. And on the ground, leading the way was the freshman David Smith. 19 attempts, 130 yards rushing, a long of 31. No offensive touchdowns for either team. There was a pick 6 for Manchester, and then other than that, 5 made field goals from Andrew Kibler to get the scoring in for the Spartans.
Coach Jensen, he's a little wet now as they got him with the old Gatorade bucket, and homecoming victories are just a little bit sweeter, if you know what I mean, and you want to always get that big W in front of your alumni as they come back to when they graced the walkways and halls and classrooms of this university.
Very good for Coach Jensen, who to not only defeat Defiance, a school that he graduated from, but also to get revenge from last spring when the Yellow Jackets got the better of them 22-16. Now the team meets up. We have Coach Myers on the field with Coach Jensen.
You know, all I know is I saw it was coming and I came over here.
Oh, yeah, well, thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that. I don't know what it is, man, but every time I got to get this done. That's the first time we've won in this new stadium, so, you know, I'm really happy for our guys, and, yeah, I got to make sure I brought extra clothes.
Well, I hope you did. If not, you can go with us. We're going to go eat some tacos probably somewhere.
Oh, but it's not Tuesday, though. Well, all right, you guys, we won, so go ahead, get some tacos.
I talked about Taco Tuesday, so you watch this on film, you'll love it, Coach. Talk a little bit about your team. I tell you what, they came out, played pretty strong today.
I was very happy with the execution of those guys. We went in at halftime and said we needed to get some things done, make some changes, and keep playing hard. But, they played hard, and that's all I ever ask of them is to play hard and play whistle to whistle.
And now you're undefeated in the conference. That's sweet.
Yeah, this is probably the first time in a long time, and it's really exciting. It's really exciting for us, and we just got to keep it going, right? We got to get back to work tomorrow.
It looks like your crew wants to be on TV, Coach.
I like it. I like it. They deserve it. This is a good team win, and I'm really happy for them.
Talk a little bit about us doing this. Is this good for the conference?
This is unbelievable to showcase our conference. There's a really, really good football teams in this conference, so this is just amazing for you guys to be out here and doing this for us.
Are you ready for the player game? All right. Player of the game. Player of the game is going to get some cookies. David Smith.
David Smith.
Here we go. David, you got to take off your helmet here. All right, David, here's some 12 cookies, some Reese cups, some other things. Mrs. Myers is a great cook. You got to share it with your team. There's 100 of you, so if you go, they want you to see you on TV, David. Wave over there. Congratulations. You're right up there. There you go. Say hi to your mom.
Hey, Mom.
So enjoy those, but you got to share them with your teammates.
For sure, for sure.
He's got to share them with his
Tell me a little
offensive
bit about
line.
your team.
We dogs. We dogs.
I don't know what that means. I think that's good, guys.
Definitely.
Talk about your game. Your team is a rally, great win on TV, made a great impact. What do you think?
We came out here and we did what we needed to do. I feel like we need to do a little bit more, but time will come.
Kind of nice feeling to get Coach nice and wet, huh?
Yeah.
He did it, Coach. 34 did it, Coach. Good job.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks so much, Keith.
He's got to share them with his offensive line.
That's right. Those are the dogs right
yeah,
there. Those are the 5 guys up front who did it for David Smith.
Yeah.
He's the player of the game. He finishes the game 19 attempts, 130 yards, averaging 6.5 yards a carry, the workhorse. And with those dogs up front, they got the job done. They didn't score. They didn't get it in the end zone, but they had Kibler to back him up with the field goals. Great overall effort, I think, by Manchester, and to pitch a shutout as well against Defiance.
I'm really impressed with their defense. It's strong. The guys up front really put a lot of pressure on Defiance and Ambrose, their quarterback, and they made plays. Jaquan Walker was fantastic as a cornerback. And, we really didn't even say Masden's name much this week as a middle linebacker, which goes to show you the talent they've got spread out defensively. It's going to be fun to watch them when we're back here in 2 weeks for week 4. But next week, we will be in Hanover to see this Defiance team again.
Masden did finish the game second in tackles. He had 9 total, but him and DeMonte Moore combined for 19 total tackles to set the pace for the Manchester defense. You get one last look at them there with Coach Jensen. Proud of his guys. They get the win 22-0. They move to 2-0 in Heartland Conference play, right at the top of things. And next week for Manchester, they'll be on the road. A tough task ahead of them at Mount St. Joseph. October 16th is that game. And for Defiance, we're going to see them next week. Like you mentioned, Sean, they're going to be at Hanover. It'll be the 3rd edition of IndianaSRN's Heartland Game of the Week. Excited for next Saturday. Going to travel down to Hanover and see a very good Panther football club.
Yeah, and we'll be back here in 2 weeks to see Rose Holman for the first time on the HCAC Game of the Week. Again, hey, we'd love to put more games on TV. If you want to help out, click on our donate button on our webpage, IndianaSRN.org.
So, for the final time, the final score 22-0. Manchester Spartans are now 2-3 on the year and 2-0 in conference play. From Spartan Stadium on the field, Keith Myers, our producer Jerry Collins, and our cameraman Justin Griffiths and Nick Lewis. And for the man next to me, Sean Kroll, I'm Jarrett Lewis saying so long for now. You were watching IndianaSRN's Heartland Game of the Week. We'll see you next week at Hanover.